get your information. So the spoon to be my session. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you ain't know. The children crying for starvation, just don't spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, don't spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. You from Bonjama, Maryland, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. Everything kept on regular, my brother, don't spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. You want to get a news update, don't spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, Budgetary. Yes, Budgetary.
The CEO stand coming with the spoon, and your boy right at the south and then Rogers on the beat.
To get your information. So the spoon to be my session. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon.
This is Spoon Television,
What is happening?
Spoon Radio Station. This is the Spoon Network,
Happening in Morovia.
and we're here again tonight, live across the country on Spoon FM 107.5. We are live on Fabric Radio 101.1,
The children crying for stuff.
Super 95.5 FM, and several frequencies across the country.
Update, my brother, don't
Spoon Talk is back on your radio.
want to
We are coming to you
spoon.
live on several radio stations across the country.
That decision just don't spoon.
Thanks to our partner radio stations
To know
that are making sure that
the ministry.
Liberians across the country can get information in real time.
Yeah,
Thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County, Premier FM in Bong, thanks to Trend Radio in Grand Crew, Radio Yalaman in Seklipi, Nimba County,
Maryland, don't spoon.
and the host of other radio stations across the country that will most times relay the program even without telling us. We appreciate all of you for
My brother, don't spoon.
joining us, Liberians across the country, in Nimba, in Riverside, in Maryland, in Bone County, in Grand Cape Mount, across the 15 counties of Liberia and beyond. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. We're also live across the world. We're streaming live across the internet on several other frequencies, on several social media handles. We are live on Spoon TV on Facebook, live on Fabric TV on Facebook, Super TV on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, and our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. We want to welcome all of you tonight. Thanks for joining us on this edition of the program. Spoon Talk is where you get authentic information about the happenings across Liberia. You get to have critical analysis here every night from the diverse panel on the happenings across the country. And of course, you get to have the time to express yourself on those different issues of national concern. And it doesn't matter what the agenda is for the day. There's always the What's on Your Mind segment that provides you the perfect opportunity to speak out on those different issues of concern. Just whatever it is that you want to talk about, be it health, education, be it about sanitation, the economy, and a lot more. You have the time to do just that here every night on the program Spoon Talk. I'd like to welcome all of you. Thanks for joining us tonight on this edition of your favorite program, Spoon Talk. My name is Nelson Collet, and I encourage all of you to kindly share the show as you come on tonight. I see a lot of you joining us online already. Please share the program. Lawrence Appiton joining us from Minnesota. Eric McGill, Charles Young. I see Samuel Woods, Samuel Kofi Woods Jr. And I see Agatha Glasgow is here as well. Rufus Dennis joining us via YouTube. And I see Armstrong Tolley is here. Thanks for coming on. Yakin Barkley is joining us tonight as well. Listening Kaba, Matthew Williams, Fofi, Valley, Bio Jr. Thanks for coming on as well. Pittman Wright, I see Francis Ahmad. Pittman Wright is here again. I see a lot of you joining us. Sunday Flomo, Eric Barr, CDC Papi Success Keita for Life, James Jackson, all of you coming on tonight. We appreciate you. Jackson Dumore, Honorable Vincent Boyd, and everyone joining us tonight. Please share the program as you come on. It's going to be a very engaging edition of the program tonight. A lot in store for you. So much to talk about. Plenty of things happening across Liberia. And this is where you get all of the happenings, the analysis, and all of those issues right here. Well, we're going to open the phone lines as we always do here, affording you the opportunity to speak out on those different issues of concerns. Whatever it is that is of concern to you, you're going to have the time to talk about those different issues here tonight on this edition of the program, Spoon Talk. But just before doing that, we want to go across and bring you some of the updates. What are some of the happenings across the country? What are the issues of the day? What is it that we need to tell you about tonight? So let's just go across quickly and bring to you some of the updates here. Well, there's a whole lot happening across the country. We wake up every morning and like the pages on the newspapers, like you have, you know, the clock on the wall spinning so fast and not waiting for anyone. That's how fast a lot of things continue to happen just back to back. Some very new, some anticipated, some not anticipated. Some of the happenings will have us caught by surprise. Yes, but that's what it is. And part of our responsibility is to bring you up to speed with what those different happenings are. So again, I want to welcome all of you to the program tonight. Well, there's a whole lot happening across the country. What are the happenings? Let's start at the Liberian Senate. Well, several ambassadors. The Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs um, presented her confirmation, her report following confirmation hearings that were held for several officials of government. As per what the process is, the respective committees will conduct the confirmation hearings and then present their report to the plenary of the Liberian Senate based on the performance of those officials of government, and what the committee's assessment and everything is of those individuals. Then, of course, they come up with their report and sometimes recommendation to the plenary of the Liberian Senate to act upon it. And so the Senate's Committee on Foreign Affairs uh, presented her report on several ambassadors whose confirmation hearings were conducted back then. I remember at some point the confirmation hearing started before the break, sometime last year, and the confirmation hearing based on time factor, the electricity issue, especially so when it was around 6 p.m. Then it was pushed. So yes, there were two confirmation hearings conducted for those officials, those ambassadors designate. So some of those confirmed today. The committee presented her report and the plenary acted on it by voting for some of for the ambassadors who were designated to serve in some respective positions. So, for example, you have Honorable Dr. Brahmin D. Kaba, ambassador designate to Kuwait. He was confirmed today. You have Honorable J. Levi Beeman, ambassador to Berlin, was confirmed today. You also have the ambassador designated to Sringa, Ali Sila, was confirmed today, along with other ambassadors. They were all confirmed. All ambassadors who sat the confirmation hearing that was conducted a couple of days ago got confirmed today by the Liberian Senate. Since, in fact, is a attorney position, as per the law, they required two-thirds of the vote for those going to serve in any position. The CBR governor was also confirmed today as well, and the senators voted. They voted on the record. 21 senators voted for the confirmation of those ambassadors today. So 21 out of 30 senators is two-thirds. Two-thirds basically is 20 or more senators is that they should vote in for the confirmation of those officials of government. Yeah, so they were all confirmed today by the Liberian Senate, including the CBR governor and the other officials who appeared for the confirmation hearing. Well, but on the flip side, there's a lot of issues, a lot happening as well. Bomi County, no, that's Bapolu County Senator Amara Conan presented a communication today to the pro tem. He requested the plenary to invite the ministers or the ministries of foreign affairs, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Ministry of Education, Agriculture, to provide a solution on the impact of the recent foreign aid suspension by the United States of America. And so the plenary made a decision with respect to that. Sorry. So plenary decision now was to have those individuals to appear to say exactly as to what the country's position should be. Since in fact those institutions are very key to determining what happens to the country. Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, Foreign Affairs, and all of those different institutions, agriculture, to take a look at what's happening at the country, especially with the suspension of foreign aid. What do we do next? How do we ensure that, since in fact our budget is heavily reliant on foreign aid, how do we make up? How do we bridge the gap if those foreign aids coming in, especially from the U.S., is to get suspended? If that suspension is to take effect for maybe the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, where do we start from? With the over 100 million, of support coming to our government on an annual basis, supporting different sectors of the government that are of priority to the government, the developmental priorities of the government. Where do we start from? So that was what triggered the communication from the Bapolu County Senator, Senator Amara Kone. And since that came up, a lot of people have been suggesting different things that the country could do to save herself, given what's at hand. But on the flip side, those institutions will be making appearances, and looking forward to seeing what happens at that level. Now, why this is happening, the finance minister, Minister Augustine Kwehi Gafwan, is calling for a stronger collaboration with the business community in the country to boost revenue generation for Liberia. He said this plus a whole lot when he had an engagement with the stakeholders in the sector, engagement with the National Port Authority, the gateway to the country's economy, the Commerce and Industry Minister, Mr. Madeline Dakosa, and you had representatives of the Chambers of Commerce, representatives of the Liberia Business Association, and all of those people. They had an engagement, a roundtable conversation as to how can they play their respective roles in beefing up, in helping to boost the country's economy. And that was a very engaging activity today at the Freeport of Monrovia, when the finance minister sat with those different actors in the sector for hours, trying to have this conversation around improving the country's economy, recognizing their respective roles, and making sure that they can have a conversation around how they can play their own role to making sure that the country's economy is on path, is moving very well. And he also mentioned the issue of the budget. He said the need to raise the necessary revenue for the period of 12 months or over 12 months, and that the business community is very key. It's a very strategic partner in that endeavor. So that was what triggered the engagement. There was a previous engagement sometime in October, and this was just a follow-up to making sure that the economy, this conversation can continue to ensure that the different actors in the economy are part of the decision-making process, are part of the solutions that are needed to get the country moving forward. Well, that's another aspect. There's a whole lot happening across the country. But we're going to go to the phone lines. We want to hear you. We want to get your views coming across. Let's make sure we can do that by opening the phone lines. And getting your thoughts. What is it you want to talk about? What is it that is of concern to you? Health, education, sanitation, the economy, whatever it is that you want to talk about. We'll open the phone lines and hear from you tonight on those different concerns you have. 0555-101075, 0555-101075. For the next few minutes, we take your calls. let's hear you talk about the different issues of concerns to you. And again, I want to encourage all of you to share the program as you come on tonight. Tewa Gumma, yes, Tamba, uh, uh, Bajafula. Yeah, I enjoyed some of those names. Yeah, Saving Grace, Morris Day, my own dear brother Chester Dokolier, all of you joining us tonight. I want to appreciate you for coming on again. Kindly share the show as you join us tonight. Let's go to the phone lines and take your calls 0555 I'm going to have the WhatsApp posted as well. So you please your calls via the WhatsApp line that I have up here. Let's take our first caller. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Hello, Nelson. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. It's good to have you on tonight.
Okay, this is DJ Sim. I'm joining from between Grand Juda and Ivory Coast border this evening. I'm driving to home this evening. I listen to you live on my my radio.
Okay, that's great. That's a great one. Thanks for joining us from between Grand Juda and Ivory Coast. What's on your mind? What is it you want to talk about tonight?
Yes, I was like this. I witnessed the football and game between Grand Juda and Lofus.
Okay.
The thing that I saw at the national team is so much, guy, and we need to change our attitude, Liberians. When you come to Abidjan, you go to Ghana, you see everything has been changed. People buy ticket for $5 a year. Couldn't believe people went into the national stadium, buy ticket for 500 to people who buy the $5 ticket to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just all corruption.
Mm.
So to understand, I was saddened because I a lot of guys from Ivory DJs and other people, will make our way about to 7.
Okay.
But to let on Monday to go back because the work system. There's a guy who smoked weed in front of us in the national stadium in public. Is that happening in Liberia?
Thank you.
We're all in Liberia. We're all in DJ walk at the border here. I always like down to School FM,
Yeah,
I
we
have some of my
appreciate
colleagues,
you, man.
and Incredible Grants, that is one of my friends,
Thanks a lot for participating on the show tonight. We appreciate you, sir. Let's take another person. 0555 Hello, you are live. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Joanna Green, calling from 12th Street.
Okay, Joanna Green. What's on your mind?
Yeah. What's on my mind? Since August last year, I won money on Spoon FM. Lesson refused to give my money. $20
You won $20 on Spoon FM and
yeah,
but
they refused to give my money. I went to Spoon FM, the security start showing me the BB door. I ran beyond nursing for my money. I can't get my money.
But
Spoon can up about it.
Hello.
Up to now, I won't get my money. Yeah.
Okay.
I getting you.
Johanna, express yourself. You done? You finish?
Yeah, I finished. I said I want $20 US.
Okay.
For the August 24 program. Up to now, I receive my $20 US from Spoon FM.
Okay, so Johanna, your concern is a very important one.
Yeah, important one. Up to now, I didn't get my money.
Yeah, but listen now.
Yeah, listen.
When you win anything on the station, there's a process. 2 things. It's either you are called, and in the case of monies or whatever, is transferred to you directly, or if it is an item. Now I'm coming now. If it is an item, you have to come at the station and collect the item you won. So if you want
money, I want item, I want money.
Okay, so if you want money, it's been a very long time. I really don't know if we can, but we can always visit the record. And once it is verified, it is you.
August 24 program.
Yeah, I'm coming.
But the flag day that the program.
Yeah, I'm coming. So it will have to be verified because it's easier for
anybody.
No, but
and when you have station there, be door in there 2 times when there, maybe a
Can we communicate? Can we communicate? So it will have to be verified. It's easier for anybody to call on the radio and say they want something from Spoon FM and they want to get it. It's easy. Anybody can do that. So first of all, we have to verify that you won whichever amount, $20. We have to verify that you won the money. And if indeed you won the money, we can call you and have the money transferred to you.
Okay. And my number there. And I will always call
you. I don't know how we do this. Okay, so
my number.
No, but you're speaking to Nelson. I'm Nelson. You're speaking to on the
But
radio.
Nelson, you pretend I said the thing. I know Joanna. Who told you that you're going to your house to Makari?
No. Hello.
You need to call me. You must need to talk, Nelson.
Hello.
You I think I said the thing. You forgot.
Johanna, listen, man.
Yeah?
You don't do that. Johanna, we talk to a
Why
lot of
man?
people. We talk to a lot of people. There are people who win stuff. They will come and collect their stuff. All their monies will be transferred. Johanna, I wanted to take your number because if you say you want, sorry guys, so if you say you want an item, you want to get the item. First of all, we have to verify. We talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. If you have an issue you want, you haven't received your price, first thing we have to verify. I'm going to read a number out. You can call that number. We verified. If indeed you want whatever you want, it's going to be transferred to you. All right. So let's hope we can do that. And take more of the calls now. 0555-101075 is the number, and you'll be live on the program tonight. This is very interesting. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
This Adam Kane.
Okay, go ahead. You're live. Let's hear you.
On my mind, Nelson, President Joseph Boakai are making some more shame. We voted this government for change. We not voted the government for all to be hearing corruption, posting new one, and nothing come for it. And one thing about the government is talking about investigation. All the corruption that go on, they say investigating up to now. If they are poor man, then they say to solve it. Nothing they paper that we voted for. Nothing. Maybe you can get far out about nothing. We are suffering this country. And I say, don't
put me inside. I beg you. Yeah,
yeah, but we are frustrated to the extent that when you saw, maybe me I speak to power. I don't want to say somebody put money in my phone, this, that, so I put my own money and speak to power. Okay. I'm not voting this government for me. I'm not voting to give me money personally. But at least the we hear government are containing the past government for corruption. This, that. But all the things they are containing this government, President, we are government. They are doing more than one president we are doing. So people money beneath. The government have been sovereign all. The government make people are mocking our own part, and then when they say, and they are there, they are in power now.
So
and we don't I need to see.
Yeah, no, listen now. Don't tell me here like that, my man. We're not making power. We provide this platform so you guys. So you guys can express yourselves. So when you want to express yourself, the best way to express yourself the right way, put angle aside. Relax yourself, take deep breath, and talk it the way you're supposed to talk it.
Sorry, I will not get
so what you want the government to do? Finally, so we take another person. What you want the government to do? Just fine. We lost it. 0555-101075. Hello, you are live. Your name and where you calling from? Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening to folks in Radio Link. Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you. You're live on the show.
Hello. What's my network?
I can hear you. I'm hearing you very well. Sorry, sir. Hello. Your name and where you joining us from? Hello. This is interesting. Hello.
Hello.
Please, can you walk away from your radio, sir, please?
Hello.
No, the feedback is still there. Let's take another person. Please make sure once you're calling, you walk away from your radio. Hello. 0555-101075. The WhatsApp number is scrolling there. You can call and you'll be live on the program tonight. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Thank you very much, Nelson. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Nelson. I'm civil basketball and I joined from somewhere, Morovia.
Okay.
Nelson, you know, the Liberian people, we are crying. The country is bleeding on the quote-unquote rescue mission. Look, let me say this. President Boakai told the Liberian people there will be no business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
But Nelson, we had 3 defeated representatives. Sam Matakwe, Dame Fana, and Dana Swakoko Dennis. The 2 males, they are situated geographically to LTA. Where Fofana and that matter quite a generator from the February 1 to the 28th of the February. And there will be 3,000 assets for the generator feeding. You have to go to who have flood massively into for the country.
Can you go straight to the point, sir? What's your issue?
No, my talking point is that one on my mind. I'm trying to say that you said no better are you sure? These people left on representative and place them to that position. See the type of corruption that is taking place with LTA and that of Noal. So they were hearing around that Swakoko Dene, one of the bring people money to buy some of the
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
So I don't know whether President Boga is real to the Liberian people, but look, Liberian people have power in our hand, and whether that if you follow the South Africa or when Timothy Ramaphosa were leaving, what if people did? The presidency of South Africa take the street, and then went for the taking was.
Okay, let's hold you there and take another person. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Abe calling from San Francisco.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
I mean, the thing on my mind about Liberia now is about the current. We continue to be in darkness. We want our to please try to put the current in place.
Thank you.
Something with the current business.
Thank you very much.
We're not working with our OS banner. We want to face and work with to be selling it. I need to get something. So let us see about the current business.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Nancy, I'm calling for Lofa Zozo.
Okay, Lofa County, go ahead.
Kapala Jakite.
Kapala Jakite?
Yeah, I in Lofa Zozo.
Go ahead, sir. You're live on the program.
Yeah, I'm the listener to Noal. Every day I listen to School Network. So Nancy, why I want to tell you that, why I want to say to you that the School Network is something that the judicial approach the we are done. Judicial approach the network. The school network. The school network will close the school network because of those judicial that we are done. But why is it today? To say you want the president today in Liberia, that which means
thank you.
The judicial today they don't want parking the school network today.
All right, thank you.
No, Unity Party is hard for you to see the Unity Party. Then so judicial follow that the school network today. So
thank you. That's a very great concern. That's a very great concern. We appreciate you. And I believe you express yourself. You are able to say what's on your mind. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
This is Patrick Bier, and I call you from Margibi.
Patrick, what's on your mind?
Lower Margibi.
Express yourself. Let's hear you.
Yeah, what is on my mind has to do with Jefferson Kochi today. I heard something about Jefferson Kochi. The government doesn't want to prosecute him. Let the government prosecute Jefferson Kochi and the other people that they carry their propaganda around, cheap propaganda that CDC raped the country, they looted the country. The people right here. What the president waiting for? 1 year has gone. We in the second month of the second year. What do you have got? Even when you have coming to I fear that other people say, oh, when the public come, we arrest the people that they closing the boat, they close RI, other and the public come, we see anything. So Jefferson Kochi is rest. Let them prosecute him. to make him to know that he's guilty because we knew in the country that Chevazingo, you were the head of ICO Sabu unit. What about needs?
Okay.
What should be here and then do anything about it?
Thank you very much for your input, sir. Let's hold you there and take another person. Hello?
No problem, Chief.
Your name and where you're calling from? Let's hear you. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, so make sure your background is okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? 0555-101075. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from West Point.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah. I'm not my concern. I have a good issue.
Quickly.
One, the police. What are that? They will invite them. The two places they can't direct traffic. They only after arresting Murubo and Keke. They can do that. Go check it. Go see that they want to know. Secondly, GSK. People can be seen in chair. People also young women in the chair. You get the fire point up. You get up. You will die in the chair. Also young you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another person here. Hello. Your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Danny Wally Pay. I call from 540 Congo Town.
Danny Wally, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind is about this evidence that the police people trying to gather that the people who burn the house, that their voices in that place there, so that every guy against people.
Thank you. Dr. Richardson, welcome. I see you are still set up.
Yes. How are you doing, Nelson? How are you doing, Mr. Kennedy?
Hello.
Yeah. I want to just thank everybody for calling and expressing their views. I'm happy, Nelson, that you are responding in a very tolerant way to everyone, telling them that we are not fighting, we are not fussing. I heard that part, and it's true. We are here to exchange ideas, whether we like the ideas or not. So I'm happy for the viewers and the caller, and I'm happy to be here today. I'm gonna let me need to get my grandson to see I can hear. I'm glad y'all can hear in the background, right?
The youngest panelist.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I like
your
microphone, your setup, everything is just similar to studio. It makes me think as if you in Studio B somewhere.
Studio B. Let's get that. I like that Studio B thing. Stanton trying to take my microphone from me, but he get love in his eye. He not make it.
He can't make it.
The love in my eye, but no way. Yeah, but it's comfortable. It gets me to really look professional. When we do these things, we have to do it to the best of our ability. A lot of Liberian people believe in this network. So, we come here 2-3 hours because we believe in them and we believe in our country, so whatever way we can volunteer, we can give back is good for us.
Definitely. Oh, I see. Okay, so I see the CEO has joined.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now.
All right, we how you doing? Poor Kennedy, early.
Yeah, my man. I don't get nothing to do when I see this day. I work. I can sit down on spoon. Donald Trump natural saying Gary, all the user contract we have in Apple
and I think we should discuss this. I think that people want to hear this about the whole usage thing. And to tell you the truth, I'm seeing the lawmaker and they are getting involved. They're trying to find a way out. Is there any way out? And that's what we discuss with our people today. Would there be any way out for Liberians, though? If you're looking at the bigger picture here for Kennedy, the whole usage thing, anyway, we'll discuss it, Paul. We'll discuss it because this thing is about to hit home.
Yeah, of course.
It's about to hit home bigly.
And it's hitting us from two ends, right? So from one end of it is the American government pulling their funding out of WHO, right? And then from another end, they're trying to review USAID. And don't get me wrong, up to this moment, they've not said they're going to stop USAID. They only put USAID on the pause so that they can review all of the programs.
My man, everybody, you can make them fine, you can do this. Everybody trouble. Most people are trouble. Countries are trouble.
I know.
And they are so concerned as to the way forward. This is affecting the education system, the healthcare system, the agriculture system, and listen, it affecting more Ali. Labor water and swamp. All the use 40 million, the use this and all the grant. So I'm going to call Mo Ali. Thank God he's coming. He got to explain how this going to affect the labor water and so. Because Mo Ali said we're buying a 40-inch pipe and all this thing. This is very serious, folks. It is. Look at Paul Kennedy saying at home. Paul, tell the people you were just on the island, right?
In the Caribbean, yes.
In the Caribbean, Paul was about to make $1,200 every week.
Hey, look at $1,200, say $750 a day. Then you
I mean, say 1,000. I saw the thing. You taking all your DSA and all the things like making 1,200, right? But it's not about what you're gonna make. But you have you at least.
Don't put me to 1,000. A lot of money, my man. I'm picking. I just hustling. So
my man, baby, but we know your strength, my man. You didn't go to school for nothing. We know your strength.
I think you're reducing the figure. You said 1,000 per week, 1,200, but it means 700 per day.
Yeah, so 700. We're not to the
one. No. You see, I'm sorry. I said week. I thought about day.
We're not to the 1,000 a day yet. 1,000
so
a day.
Imagine, right? Poor Ken is saying no, stand on only 750 a day.
Yeah, because you can go up more than that. There are consultants that are making 1,000 a day. 1,000.
Let me do the math. And you are doing it for 7 days, right? 750 times 7.
It's not 7 days, 5 days.
I agree. I gave you 5 days. So let's do it. 750 times 5. The man making $3,750 a week, right? Times.
But it comes with a lot of work, But
we're not talking about the web business now. Times 4. The man making $15,000 a month. That's it. Take all the Tantalon, all the JJ, and But I want to listen to the me talk my own, right? And guys, we'll soon start the show. You're welcome to the Spoon Talk. Imagine Paul Kennedy going home with at least $15,000 to $20,000 a month.
The man talking Tabata now.
I got a letter here, my brother. It cannot be Tabata. I got a letter here. But imagine my brother Paul Kennedy, right? Between $15,000 to $20,000 a month. That ain't you say stop. Donald Trump said, who that man? You're calling who? Donald Trump said, what that man carrying from Liberia? You shut that thing down. But what about Abu Mami? Abu Mami was working on a $70 million agriculture project. 70 million.
But the project will come back. So like I said, Donald Trump, so USAID program is directly managed by the Department of State. It's not like the Millennium Challenge that you have to go through Congress, because the Millennium Challenge is managed by the Millennium Challenge Corporation. So Donald Trump can't touch that. But the one Donald Trump can touch is the one that is on the Department of State, because Donald Trump can say, listen, I want to put a hold on all of USAID programs and review it, right? Because I think there's wasteful spending, so that we can review it and take out the wasteful spending. That's all he's doing. He's not saying he's going to cut it down forever. Donald Trump can't cut it. He can't cut the USAID program forever.
You're trying to sweet up Donald Trump right now, okay? You're trying to sweet up Donald Trump. We welcome Uncle Sam and Dr. Richardson. But look at this thing, right? The letter, and we're going to get into the program. The UN Secretary General is writing, folks, here, as you may be aware, the United States President has issued an executive order on re-evaluating and realigning United States foreign aid. I have responded with a call to ensure the delivery of critical development and humanitarian activities. I assure you that we are working closely with colleagues throughout the United Nations system to understand and mitigate the extent of its impact on our operations. We will remain actively engaged and keep you informed as more information becomes available. Now, more than ever, the work of the United Nations is crucial as we face this difficult challenge. Your dedication and support will help us to overcome and move forward. Together, we will ensure that our organization continues to serve people in need around the world with unwavering commitment. Yours sincerely, Antonio Guterres. So there you have it. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Not only Paul Kennedy cannot make that 15,000, he has signed the contract. Not only Mame and other people that get consultancy with Mo Ali, LWSC, and agriculture and fisheries, and you talk about the education system in our country. You talk about the healthcare system in the country. You talk about small impact and bigger impact development program. Uncle Sam is here. It's troubling, folks. So, welcome to the Spoon Talk. We are starting early today, and thank God for everyone that coming on. Because, sir, ladies and gentlemen, we got to leave from here early today. Now, the Richardson got 4 children, and Abraham is always on her back to leave early. Paul Kennedy got 6. I know 2 back home, 1 with him, and the other 2 they living by themselves. Or I don't know how I would count that number. Uncle Sam gets 16 all around the world. Ghana, Atlanta, Georgia, South Africa, New York, everywhere. But you know what? There are lawyers and doctors and very, very professional folks out there. Uncle Sam needs to rest. A 72-year-old man, almost, he needs to rest. Governor Clinton got to do the show for his office because the little 2-year-old is crying. And I myself, once the door open, Levi is coming on, and I got to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do the show your time. It starts at 3:30. We take phone calls up to 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, we discuss, which will be 9 o'clock your time. From 9 o'clock, we pray to the Almighty God. We are out of here. 10:30, 11 o'clock, nothing past 11. Why are we doing that also? It's because the producer have to go home. We have female producer, they got to go home. If you don't get all the story, you will get the rest of it from us tomorrow. Cheer, small. We give you what we can give you today. The producer got to go home and go to bed and come back tomorrow, and we'll still be here. Other than that, may God save our country. If you don't get all for here, John Nelson on the late night program, maybe you will get the rest of it, or come back tomorrow and we will talk our talk. I want to welcome Dr. Richardson, who is going to the Sixer game today. I hope to beat the Sixer because she's going there. I'm going to welcome Uncle Sam Jackson. He stayed in South Africa doing his thing. Uncle Sam is a big deal in South Africa from the president down. I must tell you guys, he's not a small potato. I'm going to welcome Governor Clinton. Is not an accident lawyer. He's a real lawyer. He's a criminal defense lawyer. Trust me, check his profile. It's not a joke. I'll be kidding with him. He's an accident. Mo Ali is coming on. Abula Mame is coming on. Akaris Gray is coming on. And our brother Gibson Giroux. Wherever they meet us, now where we continue, no turning back, forward, ever, backward, never. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spoon Talk. Dr. Richardson, let's hear your opening, man.
Yeah, it's great to be here today. It's funny, Stenson, I had to do a bargain with my grandson. He's actually watching Spoon Talk in the family room. I had to put it on the TV for him to watch while I'm up here. But I just want to say something about the letter that you showed about the United States government possibly cutting back on aids to developing countries. I see it as a curse and a blessing at the same time for us in these developing countries, namely Liberia. I see it as a blessing because we can now rely on ourselves in a way. We can do some deep self-reflection as a country. we can also explore and evaluate some of our strengths. We have a lot of strengths. We have a lot of resources. In terms of a curse, I see it that, I'm sorry that some of our people will be heavily impacted because, our education system, our healthcare system was all dependent on, the United States. You say they have multiple projects in the in Liberia that they're working. So I'm sad that those people will be impacted. And I'm also sad that because we live in a global community, if just one outbreak of some virus or something, people might think it won't impact other parts of the world, like the United States. We saw it. There was an outbreak of Ebola, and somebody immediately traveled from Liberia, Nigeria to the United States. So if we live in a global community, so we have to be concerned about, the education of the next person or the health of the next person. I think it's an opportunity for China and Russia to become powerful in developing countries. I hope that we'll be able to do a good assessment of these countries as they seek stronger relationship with us, because they already have a relationship with us. So thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to always come and talk to our people.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. I'm going to bring in Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, talk to us. What's on your mind?
But look, I'm going to be very blunt. Donald Trump is a complete idiot when it comes to global cooperation. Look, post World War II, the United States projected its power, not by the military, but by soft power. Created by Truman, consolidated by Eisenhower, and advanced by Kennedy and other American presidents, that soft power, United States aid, what it did was provided emergency aid to Europe after the war, right? And then gave development in terms of the Marshall Plan. And then, of course, official development assistance around the world helped countries to rise up, create a middle class. And what they did was what? Bought American goods, consolidated democracy, consolidated peace. The peace that we have seen post-World War II and global cooperation that saw the millennium, the Millennium Development Goals have global poverty by more than 50%, created South Korea, created Vietnam, South America, and other countries. So what the United States is doing now via Donald Trump is to say that we are not going to project American soft power anymore. We are only going to depend upon the United States military for what they call this unipolarity. Let me explain what unipolarity is. Unipolarity is where there is only one major power and there is no other counterbalance to that. That is a policy that will cause a lot of chaos in the globe. It will cause a lot of wars. It will cause a lot of famine. And the international system, which is put together by the UN. The UN has been a good force for peace and security around the world. If Donald Trump wants to go away from that, that's up to him. But I can tell you, he will be diminishing United States global power. And then there will be the rise of China and other powerful countries to step in and fill in that gap. So what Liberia needs to do now is to start developing what we call bilateral constructs with countries that can support Liberia's economic development. But I think it's a boneheaded policy. It's emotional. It's not based on any empirical evidence, and the Americans will suffer the consequences. It just be a loss for America.
Well, we're going to bring in Clinton because so many people differ with you, Uncle Sam, when you say it's a loss for America. A lot of people embracing this. That I think Donald Trump is saving a lot of money. And what is happening is that a lot of Americans appreciating the fight. Like what came out of Hamas receiving millions of dollars for condoms. And you gotta understand, if you put that through the wire, Clinton, that you're giving Hamas millions of dollars for just to buy condoms, then the people say, listen, let our money stay in here. We cannot support those terrorists. And I mean, they got it have this, minuses involved. Clinton, where are you on this USAVE program issue?
I think it's a tragedy. Look, there's different sides to this thing. I think the president can actually, if he believes there is corruption within the structure of USAID, I think he can actually investigate that and address that without shouting U.S. foreign aid completely, because America occupies, and Uncle Sen, very correctly spoke about the role America occupies in global politics post World War II. The entire international system post World War II was driven by American, soft power. So it is very important for America to continue to be a force for good internationally. What's going to happen, and I think one a U.S. Senator Governor, I forgot, I was reading last night, who said America's withdrawal is a gift to China, is a gift to Russia, because what's going to happen is all these other international powers are going to occupy the gap that America is going to to leave open, and it's going to become a problem, because look, you cannot support this unipolarity, because for America to do that, it has to do that not through just its military projection, but also through, the Uncle Sam has said, through, its soft power, providing these foreign aid to countries and building these international relationships. When you leave that, you give space for Russia, you give space for China. Look, you can go, I mean, we can have a whole discussion on this, but you can go through history and see the impact of America on global and international politics, and where America was not involved, how it impacted global politics. I don't think the U.S. Congress is going to stand for this. Trump is able to do some of these things. Again, there's two sides to this debate. He's able to do this with USAID because this is not USAID was not formed by any congressional action. It was based on executive order, so it's completely presidential prerogative. But I think the impact is far-reaching from the United Nations to everywhere else that U.S. foreign policy is been felt is going to call back, because places like Liberia and all African countries and third world countries who are getting American foreign aid are going to start to turn to China, are going to start to turn to Russia, and is going to undermine U.S. foreign policy influence. And now you can say, well, it doesn't matter, we can stay, but America cannot live in isolation of the war. Let's take terrorism for example. Do you know how many countries around the world that the U.S. cooperates with? To keep America safe means you have to work with all these other countries on terrorism so that people can come into your border. So with technology and with time, the world has become so small because of globalization, and so it's almost impossible to isolate yourself. I think things are going to reset, and eventually Trump will understand that America cannot live in isolation.
Let's just get into this briefly, and then we'll go into the rest of the topic. We'll talk about Swakoko, the confirmation of Henry Samoa, what is happening in Nimba County, Prince Johnson, widow now, and endorsing Samuel Koga. We're going to talk about confirmations of other ambassadors in the country that folks are confirming, telling them to go work. We're going to talk about Amara Conan calling on these same people for USAID program. We got a lot to cover today, but the biggest of all is the Swakoko corruption issue at Noal and the progress match with all USAID. Uncle, that Richardson, let me come to you. Do you think Liberia really need USAID program funding?
I'll answer that question in two ways. The first is that we have not been self-reliant. We have not realized the strength of our country yet, the strength of our resources. We have not quite done a constructive evaluation to see what we have. So I'm sure if we do that, we'll find, that we may not need to be reliant on foreign powers as much as we do. Okay. However, we still in crawling stage. It's almost like we have not even learned how to walk yet as a country. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, So eventually, if we study hard and we look hard at our evaluation, then we might not need the resources. And this is not to say that I support this isolationist approach that we see that's happening in the world either. Yes, that's to answer your question in short.
So, Uncle Sam, the same question though. Do we really need USA or all the European partners, donation, grant, and all the different aids sitting on the resources? You go to book, and I mean, what's your take in this thing?
Okay, so Liberia is principally an aid-dependent country. Liberia depends upon aid for its security. You remember the United States DANCOR trained our military. Liberia depends upon aid for our health system. More than 50% of the support for our health system comes from official development assistance, European Union, and the United States of America, with the United States being the largest supporter. If you look at education, the United States support us in education. The United States support things in women's empowerment and all of those. The question is, do we need aid? Well, you can go to the literature and look at somebody like Dambiso Moyo who talk about dead aid. Aid has been used by the United States and the OECD's countries to project their national security and economic interest. They don't give aid to their enemies in the quantum. They give aid to countries that support their economic and security interests. Okay? So Liberia doesn't have to be an aid-dependent country to the level and quantity and magnitude which it is, because Liberia has resources, trillions of dollars in resources. Let me give you an example. Last year, for example, we exported $672 million worth of gold out of Liberia, with 90% of that coming from B Mountain. Does King John look like a town or a city where $672 million worth of gold was extracted? If you look at iron ore, ArcelorMittal is doing about 5 to 7 million tons a year. Does Yekipa look like a town where you're extracting 5 million tons of iron ore a year, hundreds of millions of dollars? Liberia needs aid because Liberia has been run inefficiently. Liberia has been grossly mismanaged. And because of that mismanagement and the fragility of the country, without aid, Liberia's fragility, the probability, of some degree of instability will rise. So if we do not get aid, and it will also, this year, for example, I expect in this Donald Trump policy to have an impact on economic growth. It will also have an impact on the 5-year plan, the $8.3 billion. The significant portion of that, 70%, was supposed to be coming from what? Official development assistance. And if that evaporates, it means that Joe Boca's 5-year development plan will be greatly impacted.
Okay, Uncle Sam, thank you very much. I'm going to bring Clinton. Clinton, I'll ask the same question. Then we'll leave this open because we have a lot of different things adding up. Yeah, Clinton, do you think we really need, with all our natural resources and everything that we can tap into, do you think we really need all the USA, the European Union, and all other grants and aids that we are begging for?
I think we do. I mean, we've not been able to position ourselves to become independent. And I don't think, really any country around the world is fully independent, that they're not dependent on another country, entirely. I think we've abused the opportunities because we could have done more with our resources. We could have done more with governing our own country. I think we've, because of the high levels of corruption, we are where we are as far as being heavily dependent on aid. So yes, we need the aid. Could we have depended on aid less? Yes, we could have. If we have governments that are very responsible, manage our resources properly, yeah, we may always, need aid, but maybe out of much lower need than we currently do. So it's a wake up call. I think this thing, with Trump it has a positive as well as a negative side. It's going to be a wake up. I was listening to the former president of Kenya, and he was making joke. Kenyatta said, "Where are you mad? It's not your money. They have no obligation to give you money, and what people you're mad more than the taxpayers, American taxpayers." But because African countries, we're supposed to be waking up. Now we're going to talk about Akoko, who thinks she deserves 2 cars worth, in River says the last time I was there, the children were sitting down on the floor, $45,000 could buy a lot of chairs for the but she believes that as the CEO, she, 1 car is not enough for her. So these are the kind of things you're talking about. The resources is not enough, right? But if we were managing the little we have, we will need less aid. Not entirely that we're not going to need aid, but at least less than we currently, begging for. So hopefully it's a wake-up call, and people will start to hold our governments accountable to deliver for us.
Thank you. Welcome to the show, Honorable Gray. Before we get to you, let me bring in Paul Kennedy. Paul, the same question though. If you know, and I think we said probably going to answer this. Last year, what was some of the benefit of USAID program? And do you think that we can stay on our own and generate those funds from all of our concessions and mining operation in the country with all the resources we have? Do we really need these different aids from USAID?
Look, Stanton, let me bring this home. So USAID funds our health, our education, the democratic governance process, the economic capacity growth process, the infrastructure development process as far as through education, agriculture, and natural resource management. So USAID has money in all of these areas. They are funding our malaria and our HIV program. They are working with different sector into system strengthening. They are building capacity. They are doing governance management. In fact, they are going to the extent now going to help the county so that they can help strengthen the county leadership. So the question was, you think we really need the aid? The answer to that question is yes. And the reason why we need it now more than ever before is because we as a country have really not put any sustainability plan in place to be able to stand on our own feet, regardless of the number of years USAID have supported us. The USAID developed that GEMS program. USAID came and did USAID Shine. They built schools, they rehabilitated the data center, they helped us to put communication and whole lot of things together. What we have not done as a country is to be able to sustain those programs outside of USAID funding, which continue to depend on it and rely on it. And Clinton talked about corruption. I agree with Clinton. There are corruption in Liberia like any other country in the world. For me, I don't think corruption is the only problem Liberia is faced with. Liberia also faced the problem of lack of ingenuity, lack of innovation. The people, when you're not innovative, for instance, if Uncle Sam gave me $100 and he gave Akara's grade $100, Akara take his own $100, take $50 from there and buy fish and sell it and be making profit. And I sit down and do nothing with my $100. I start eating $10 from on it. When Sam come back for his money, Akara will have $400 and I will have nothing. So the lack of ingenuity, the lack of innovation will make me to continue to suffer. Whereas Akara has expended his money and he can even give Uncle Sam a $100 back and still have a lot of money sitting down. That is most African countries' problem. Liberia is not an exception of that. To the extent that we are sitting down in Liberia, crying wishful hunt, trying to beg our people to come back. Oh, let Donald Trump deport our people. What kind of hatred is this? I hear Liberian people all on the social media.
I think you will come to the deportation later, Paul.
Asking for people to be deported. That is wrong. Very wrong, Stanton.
Yes, you will get to the deportation conversation. Let me bring in the former representative of District Number 8, Akaris Mosi Gray. You met us with the USAID conversation. What say you?
Yeah, basically, it's a big challenge coming back home on the whole entire USAID issue because Paul struck a very important point in terms of the various sectors that the USAID aid affects in Liberia, ranging from health to education, even the justice system and other areas. A lot of projects. You know, the budget was just passed, and once the budget is passed, this presupposes that the foreign budget, the external support, budget support, will be captured. That forms part of the USAID support towards the budget. And that's why when I just read about an hour ago that few senators wrote a communication, and basically the focus point is on the budget. It reminds me of when we took power and then the COVID sank in 2019, and then the Ukrainian war came in. It became a very big challenge to the economy of the country. Coincidentally, after 1 year into the governance process of the country, Donald Trump has made a major pronouncement. And I think this is where the government now has to use her own ingenuity. They got to reappropriate, reallocate. They got to have a huge pay cut, visiting all of the public operations, other areas. I will tell you this from an experience. When the COVID hit the wall, in fact, that was the point when the COVID hit the wall. It was one of the points at which I insisted and demanded a huge cut in salaries and benefits of public officials, especially lawmakers. And we took a decisive stand of nothing less than between 28 to 32% cut. And in fact, that one of the driving force for the speeded amalgamation of the harmonization. Okay, those were all different factors that led to that, and a lot of people didn't understand that. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, ranging from infrastructure development to human resource capacity building. So I think it's a smart move. Let me say this by those senators who say that look, the Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance should look into it, and probably they can recall the budget and reappropriate, reallocate, but it would be a big challenge.
So let me ask you a question. Do we have a contribution from the American USAID to the budget?
Yeah, always. There will always be support towards
which line? I mean, is it visible? Because we heard $40 million from the European Union and $60 million from World Bank, or either vice versa. But it wasn't.
No. They always have.
Let me just give a point of information, please. I beg you. Look at domestic revenue and look at expenditure. The difference between the domestic revenue and the expenditure, that portion will be the support to the budget from aid. So whatever the
aid from where? That's the question.
OECD countries, okay? The 30 plus OECD countries like Japan, the European Union, and so forth.
No, that focus on Donald Trump and America, yeah. I'm not the other country not stopping that.
Yeah, I understand, but the US is the largest contributor to ODA.
Okay.
No, excuse me. Besides that, Santon, besides the budget, they also do non-budgetary support to the country. Like they have different, they subsidize a lot of NGOs across the country, a lot of activities across the country. I know a friend now who has been victimized. They asked them not to go to work because that the USAID program they were depending on.
Anyway, we just do our intro on it. But Honorable Gray, I understand that we got a lot of people here. We got Paul Kennedy, Mama is here, and other people. I'm saying, do we have a direct budget support from USAID?
I have to check the budget line, and I'm trying to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to be specific, but I know. But what I can speak to is that this is not strange. USAID has contributed towards the budget of Liberia, so this year budget I have to see it.
Thank you very much.
I have to see that. Let me check it out and see. Okay.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Abula Mame. Welcome to the show, Abula.
Thank you, Stanton. Good to be here.
We are on the usage of Donald Trump suspending and reevaluating, realigning. I want to read a couple of the stuff since we're coming to you. And all those of you that are joining us, again, want to hear you Liberians, yeah? Let's focus on this. You got family members that work with the usage program. We want to hear from you. And I want to do this show this time. We all agree, most of us, and I called Dr. Richardson today. She refused to talk to me. Well, at least I talked to other people who were willing to talk to me. That's fine. We want to ask you and get you involved with the conversation now. What impact the usage suspension going to have on you or Liberia? Okay. So after we read this, Mame speak, we'll come to you. We want to hear from you. Let me put this on, Mame. This is the UN Secretary General. Okay, Antonio. This is what he's saying. Let me read this real quick. He said, as you may be aware, the United States President has issued an executive order on re-evaluating and realigning United States foreign aid. I have responded with a call to ensure the delivery of critical development and humanitarian activities. I assure you that we are working closely with colleagues throughout the United Nations system to understand and mitigate the extent of its impact on our operations. We will remain actively engaged and keep you informed as more information becomes available. Now, more than ever, the work of the United Nations is crucial. As we face this difficult challenge, your dedication and support will help us to overcome and move forward. Together, we will ensure that our organization continues to serve people in need around the world with unwavering commitment. Now, let's put this up again, my fellow Liberian. Secretary Marco Rubio appointed as acting administrator for the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. I will also put this up again just to add. This is a memo from Kamuzu University. It's important to all staff and students. Update on U.S. funded program following the stop order. Everybody getting their own stop order letter. Mame, what say you?
I want to talk broadly about aid. I don't want to speak specifically to the USAID situation. I mean, broadly, countries find their way out of aid. It's not sporadic. It's not automatic. You don't just wake up today and say, we're not taking aid. We got resources. We got natural resources, so we don't need aid. That's not the way it works. All the countries who have pulled away, and I can't think of any, developing countries that are not receiving aid. The goal is always to reduce the dependency on aid. To what extent are you reducing your dependency on aid and using state resources and other public-private financing to address development challenges? So Liberia will continue to need aid in the long run. Ghana will also need aid in the long run. But to what extent you depend on aid is what we should be looking at. What extent are we reducing our dependence on aid? And these things are not just made. Like, for example, you see your 5-year development plan. It budgeted that about 30% of that 5-year development plan will be funded through government resources. The remaining 70% is not that it's government not supporting, but through private means as well will be able to support, and also through donor means will be able to support. So how are we drawing back now on that to reevaluate and say, okay, now with these different changes happening around, how do we address the gap? To your other question about USAID support to Liberia, I can speak to that. It's not like a direct budget support that indicates, and in the past, in fact, it's not like USAID take direct money and give it to the budget, like the World Bank would do, like the European Union would do. What USAID has been doing recently is a performance-based mechanism where they say, okay, for example, the Ministry of Health, they say these are indicators. The government will fund the Ministry of Health, but if you meet these indicators, then USAID will pay the money back to government. So government budget will fund the specific indicators under Ministry of Health. I think that's the FARA project. They will spend specific indicator under Ministry of Health. If Ministry of Health performs well, then UC will pay the money back to government. If Ministry of Health doesn't work well and doesn't perform well, UC will not pay the money back to government. But UC doesn't take like cash money and give to government like the World Bank and the IMF, the World Bank and European Union would do.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to welcome our sister Jackie. Sister Jackie has been exactly 4 weeks, 3 days.
You got it, son?
4 weeks, 3 days. Because when you text her in the chat room, I went back to low.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we want to say welcome again. It's good to have you. I think it's only important for us to also welcome our brother Fundella Patrick to the program. Guys, like we said, please watch our time for us. We all be at the latest 6:30 Eastern time. That will be 11:30 Liberian time. We are getting older. We have family. We'll give you the best we can in a very fast pace, and then we'll keep the rest for tomorrow. But let's have fun today and let's discuss the issue. Jackie, want to say to all of our many followers, please share the show. Guys, we that on the show, let's share it, because obviously we monitor your Facebook pages. Just go there on your phone right now and share. We are talking about USAID and there are many, many programs. How would this affect? And actually, do we really need USAID funding, Jackie? That's the first round of questions.
Stanton, good evening to everybody. The announcement, the executive order by the Trump administration, that announcement is a surprise to everybody. So which means that, in my opinion, countries did not prepare ahead of time for this. So when you say, do we need? Yeah, at this time, because how are we going to fill the gap? You said sends drugs to Liberia every single year. A lot of the drugs that go to the different counties and government entities are distributed, are brought into the country by USAID. As one example of how USAID is helping Liberia. I mean, it is helping Liberia with maternal mortality, helping us provide support to health system strengthening, infant mortality. What is going to happen to all these KPIs, the key performance indicators, as is right now? So how is it going to affect that, the bottom line? The U.S. also gives funding to other organizations for Liberia. And even the withdrawal of the U.S. from WHO, how is it going to impact our healthcare system? If there is an infectious disease outbreak tomorrow, what is going to happen? So there's a lot that we're going to have to consider. Thank God I understand the AU summit is coming up within a week. And I hope that the African Union has this new global update on its table as a priority to discuss what is it that we are going to do in order to mitigate this new risk that is at hand. Because if we didn't know ahead that these things were coming down the pipeline, we definitely, as a country, we have to do something and see what we need to do. What are the alternatives? It's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Sis Jackie. I'm going to bring in our brother Fundella Patrick. VP, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I guess we are looking at this new policy from the United States government, the shutdown of USAID. As I stated last night, I consider it to be a form of sanction on the poor people. What are we looking at that? This is about time for our government to re-strategize, regroup, if I may use my word. Over a period of time, we collect revenue in this country, domestic revenue. Our public officials engage in systemic corruption, deplete state covers, and read bad scenarios about Liberia just to attract donor fundings. And they will replace that We've never been sensible before. Now is the time. For example, look at every ministry and agency of government. One ministry will have 5 ministers. All of them rack out not less than 50,000 or 40,000. They get scratch card in their pockets. They get gas slips. They get drivers. Look, I don't know whether it will be the right time. It is time for us to deploy the austerity measure as well. Let's begin to re-strategize. Thank God the budget just passed. I hope this president can, in fact, he will have a very good justification to say, looking at what USAID was doing for Liberia, look at the health sector. Very much deplorable. Uncle Trump says they are reviewing USAID aid to Liberia and other countries. Educational sector. USAID was spending money to train our police. Security sector, people in the judicial branch of government. My best recommendation tonight could be, look, things that we were doing before. And it should start with the national legislature. Because you know what? They are the one that I hope that in the recast budget, they can do something about it. And I'm happy Senator Amara Corner today, some few ministers, Ministry of Health, Education, and other people to explain what plans are they making to address the gap that has been created as a result of the donor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have the letter written, and that which was called by Amara Kone, the Secretary of the Senate. We're going to play that video. Dr. Richardson, we are in a full gear right now. Let's get into the conversation. And one of the conversation like we started is you say, since Jackie, you want to adjust your camera a little bit, bring it down, because I think you're getting off camera. I want to say to all of you, welcome to the show. Please start the show. This is the Spoon Talk, the 4th of February, 2025. We appreciate all of you joining us. Please share our show. We need you. We'll open the phone line. We want to hear your own take on this USAID program suspension. Dr. Richardson, education, healthcare system, infrastructure. You're talking about agriculture, fishery, EPA, everybody getting funds. Not far, how you call it, NFIL, all of them fall beyond the whole USAID thing. Do you think the president is in a position that Fadela Patrick is saying that to make that bold decision that can help save the country if this thing should pass more than 3 months?
Well, I think Fadela supported his statement by saying that we need to review the budget. That's what is highly recommended to the president. He actually needs to sit down and really see, okay, what is our revenue? And Uncle Sam mentioned, what is our expenditure and what are we getting from where? And then go back and cut back. I think I heard Mr. Gray mention that he advocated for cutting back on the expenditure of the legislature and the executive branch, and maybe perhaps the judicial branch. We don't talk about that a lot here. So it's, Fadela Patrick referenced the word that I use here. It's time for us to buck up. Austerity measure has to be put in place. Because
I want you to go further before I go to Uncle Sam and Paul Kennedy on the grade with the rest of the team. Buckle up on which end? Buckle up when we say have people saying, Swako saying, I need 1 car for my son, 1 car for my driver. And we talk about bucking up. Don't you think the international community looking at these things and say, well, Liberia is a joke? Everything we give them, again, they're using our money. Look at the accusation on Hamas. They're buying condoms. How can you balance this?
You said this right. And somebody said this before. In the past, the United States seemed to use their aid to developing countries as a carrot. You do what we say, and then we give you aid. I don't know if they're looking out for our best interests. Now it's about time that we begin to look out for our best interests. And like I said before yesterday, I appreciate the brilliance of Swa Coco. But this thing that I'm hearing of her purchasing 2 cars, 1 for her to drive, 1 for her security, 1 for her driver, and 1 for the other people, it may be an example of what Donald Trump is saying that we need to cut back on when he sees that we are spending this type of support that they're giving us in a frivolous way, in a way that is not helpful to the people who are at the lower level of our country, lower economic status of our country. Then it makes sense why he will be calling for evaluation. It's almost like we're doing this to ourselves. But yes, your question is about buckling up. We have to start from ourselves. We all have to ask ourselves these deep questions. You know, JFK said, what have you done for, don't ask what your country have done for you, but what have you done for your own country? So what are we doing for ourselves? How are we going back and saying, you know, we're going to cut back on our own salary. We're going to work hard. We're going to put in more. But definitely when it comes to the question about swap cocoa, there's so many questions to be asked. And I'm sure we're going to have another round of this because I have multiple questions as to who signed the slip. What was the allotment? Was she going by law? I also read another thing that you're going to talk about, that she awarded a contract to a company that didn't have any history.
You got it. You're right. And we'll bring it up.
I will stop here and let you know, I don't like to monopolize when the group is speaking because I come from that school of thought.
Thank you.
My peers talk.
Dr. Richardson, thank you. We got everything. We're going to wrap up on this usage. We got more information coming up. Please give it your best shot, sir. Like we said, we're totally pressed with time. We got to give it our best. Uncle Sam, you've been on this global path. You talk about USAID, European Union, and all the different fundings. Talk to us, Uncle Sam. How bad is this? And how can Joseph Barker redeem us from this?
Okay. I will come to what Liberia can do in terms of to fill a gap and how we can do something called aid efficiency. That aid has to be efficient and there has to be a way to measure it. But I just want for us to look at the balcony view. In 1960, 38 billion went to aid. In 2023, 223 billion went to aid. That aid also employs Americans, Europeans, Germans, and other people. The aid industry is a global industry. When you cut down aid, you will also have unemployment in the OECD countries or in the United States, because most of that aid is channeled through non-governmental organizations. Non-governmental organizations who are basically supported by like the Brookings Institution, Harvard, and other think tanks around the world. So they will suffer the consequences also. The second thing I want to talk to you about aid effectiveness. The monies that have been coming historically to aid to Liberia, have we been able to measure aid effectiveness? There's something, the Busan Declaration, and I don't want to get very esoteric here, the Busan Declaration talks about aid effectiveness, the Accra component, okay? But here's what Liberia needs to start to look at. Liberia needs to put together a real think tank, the best and the brightest, to look at the gap and to see how we can close that gap by domestic resource mobilization, effective tax administration, right? And also by waging a war on waste, fraud, and abuse in the budget system. Does Joseph Boyka have that kind of ability? Does he have that capacity? Does he have that kind of personnel? I don't believe so. So that is what our challenge is now. What are the internal mechanisms that we are going to use to address the impact of this Donald Trump executive order reducing or cutting aid? Of course, don't forget this is 90 days. And in that 90 days, the money that is not spent will have an impact on economic growth, will have an impact on jobs, will have an impact on income, and will have an impact on social economic development, health, education, and so forth and so forth. So that is where we are.
Okay, but I'm going to bring you on Honorable Gray, and then we'll go to Paul Kennedy. So Honorable Gray, let's give this your last shot here. But I want to say this for everybody. On Wednesday, November 13, 2024, $114.4 million grant Grant, this from USA. If you read the whole article, I just, I think, share that in the chat room. So some way, somehow, this is a big money. I do believe now, if you ask Gafwan, not even asking Gafwan, this is also under suspension. Am I right, Honorable Gray? We're just talking about under this government.
Yeah, definitely with the executive order from President Trump. In fact, what I would say is that we are in a financial crisis. We have to admit that it may not only be Liberia alone, but even other countries. But this is a clear-cut indication of a financial crisis. And the way to address it, Dr. Chinoway said something very important. Austerity measures should be taken. It has to be taken. The government got to reprioritize. One of the things that could be seen, whether you like it or not, there could be increase in taxation, which is very normal under these conditions. Okay, and like you said, waste in government has to be cut off automatically. Maybe that's why the economists or the business people, whosoever you call them in the Liberian Senate, felt that it was necessary to write a communication to jumpstart the process. Because I think I read today, if I'm not mistaken, but I personally saw it. I think a U.S. Congress lady is even requesting for repealing some law on the issue of the user-sponsored program across the world. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw something like that. I'm not too sure, but I think I saw something like that today. I didn't go in depth into it. So this means that the American people, if that is true, it means that the Congress is even trying to get involved into that. So the fact of the matter here is that Dr. Chinoway says that which is very important, austerity measures, and let me repeat again, except they want to play politics out of it. But when we inherited the government and with the COVID, with the Ukrainian war, we took some drastic measures, extremely drastic measures, some measures that maybe you say unpopular. People say you harmonize my pay, I harmonize your vote. Okay, these were decisions that we had to take, whether you like it or not. The government did not anticipate at this critical juncture. Like Mame said, some of the support, most of the support may not be direct budgetary support, but they are given to different programs across the country. Educational programs, you see the agreement that was signed, the grant educational program, the health, agricultural sector, various NGOs, for example. So it means that a lot of people will be out of jobs also. It's a burden on the government. So, and I'm hoping, you asked a very important question, CEO, whether President Boyga is willing to stand on the high moral grounds and take the appropriate and the necessary decision to move the country forward. But it's the responsibility of the government to do so. We are opposition and we're making some good suggestions to them. The decisions may not be very popular decisions in terms of some of the economic decisions that will be taken. It may not be very popular decision, but those decisions will have to be reached. And again, it's unfortunate that at this critical juncture, the war is sinking into such a financial crisis. It is a financial crisis, and we must admit, part of being the opposition or member of the ruling party, but we are in a serious financial crisis.
Thank you very much. And again, folks, welcome to the show. We want to welcome all of you. We are on the USA. After everyone gave their second opinion on this issue, we'll talk to you. We'll open the phone line, to be frank, before we move to the next topic. Remember, we are yet to only 6:30. Everybody have agreed. We'll respect that. 6:30 Eastern USA time. Poor Kennedy. What can Jose Imabwaka do now? Is this another COVID situation that came upon George Manawea? Let's give it our thought. I mean, apart from the viruses and all this, I'm talking about the financial situation here.
So in strategic planning, we got something we call risk management, right? This is something that Joseph Boakai government should have done like last year, because they just didn't wake up one morning, they say Trump is the president of America. Since 2023, they've been in the know that Trump was running, and the chances was Trump could win the election. So in strategic planning, you forecast that and say, what if Trump win? How is his win going to affect or impact our government? Now, what the think tankers will do, they will sit down in the room and say, all right, A, B, C, and D, these are the possibilities, and nothing is in cap in stone. But you found out, you put that leverage so that if something comes and hits you, you can have a shock absorber. I don't think the government did that. So right now they're behind the 8 ball. Because what I'm looking at in the chat room, if it is true, you say support to this budget is almost 73, is over 73 million. 73 million. And if this 73 million is halted, they may not cancel or they may delay it. If it is halted and delayed, or Trump president come there and say, you know what, I'm not giving any of their money to any country, which he can do because the USAID budget is directly managed by State Department. It has nothing to do with congressional appropriation or congressional, legislation. That is State Department. Anything Trump and Marco Rubio decide that will happen to USAID money, that what happened to USAID money. So if they say that's on the 3 million not coming to Liberia, Omer Bwaka has to find that's on the 3 million from somewhere. And, there are a lot of waste. I'm hearing that they're going to have a re-election in Nima, and somebody who is already a sitting representative is trying to become a senator. That is a total waste. These are the ways Liberian people are wasting the money, but we are citizens.
No, someone come down. We really want to know why it's a waste, because
we don't see it as a problem.
Yeah,
we don't see those kind of ways. So they need to recalibrate. And I think the legislature is doing the right thing, calling back the budget. If they do, make sure they are looking at it, but you learn a lesson and be able to do the right appropriation, cut some of the waste in the Liberian budget. The Liberian budget has too much waste in it. When they do that, they'll be able to meet some of these, real necessary spendings.
Thank you very much, guys. Let me play the secretary down block. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. What he called for today from, I think this from Senator Amara Cornyn request. Let's play it, and we'll go to Abula Mame, Governor Clinton, Fandela Patrick, Sister Jackie, and that of our brother Gibson. Jerry, welcome.
To ensure the prioritization of stable funding allocations to safeguard the continuity of these vital programs and mitigate any potential negative impacts on the government of Liberia's development agenda. To enhance the Liberian Senate's understanding of the potential implications stemming from the suspension of U.S. foreign assistance, we respectfully recommend that the Committee on Ways, Means, Finance, and the Budget, along with the Committee on Foreign Affairs, consider inviting the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Finance and Development Planning, Health and Social Welfare, Education, and Agriculture to provide a briefing this week. Such a discussion would be invaluable in assessing the socio-economic challenges this policy may pose for Liberia and on identifying strategic avenues through which we can support the executive branch in mitigating any adverse effects.
There you have it. Let me come to you, Mame. There you have it. They are calling for different ministries and agencies to hear from them and see how we can solve this problem.
It's a problem to be concerned about. Even before USAID, the country was experiencing about 961 million trade deficit. What that means is there is significant pressure on your current account and pressure on currency stability. It is projected that deficit will extend up to 2027. When you read the arrest agenda for development AID, is projecting that trade deficit in the country will extend up to 2027 because we are heavily reliant on food import. We are heavily reliant on commodity import. And everything we export, we don't have value. Austerity I see the thing trimming. Am I clear? Am I clear, Stanton? I can hear you.
You're good. We can hear you. We can hear you. You're good.
So the deficit keeps increasing because of heavy reliance on import, and our export will not add in value. So we'll talk about austerity. I don't want to go to austerity, but when we do the austerity and we save the money, what do we do with the money to be able to address these domestic challenges? I point you to agriculture as the pathway for the medium to long-term solution. A significant part of our reliance on foreign exchange and import is on food. If we can do the austerity, save some money, and intentionally invest into producing food, we'll be cutting down on some of the challenges that this decision will have on us. Agriculture is not an immediate solution because the crops need to grow over a period of time, but it's our best shot for the medium to long-term solution to addressing the problem. Let's make that intentional decision that we do the austerity, we save resources, we go to the soil, we produce food, because import on food constitutes a significant portion of our reliance on foreign exchange and our reliance on import. Cutting costs, the president, not only the president, the minister of finance and other people need to now start looking into high cost categories. Those people who want to ride a car different from their driver need to be thinking differently. Those people who just want to travel because of a dime, they don't want to have the time. Stanton, I mean, I work with different countries, different states. I only travel when it's extremely needed. And I do my work, and I'm here alone. Several other people. Uncle Sam Jackson here, he myself, don't mind the thing, we can confer on the back. He does a lot of work online. It's working effectively. We deliver results. But somebody wants to see you today, you have to get on a plane and go because you want 5 days per down. We need to look at those high cost categories and begin to address and draw down on them so we'll be able to set a buffer for whatsoever thing that coming. I don't want to speak specifically to President Trump's decision on it.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Guys, I got a couple of things to show you. Clinton will speak for that. Patrick then Gibson till Jackie can return. One, USAID agriculture. This is within the 2025 aid projection by sectors and DPs. All right, there you have it. This is concerning folks. Grant, loan, grand total. Liberia, we are talking about Liberia, just from USAID. You have the African Development Bank, the European Union, the RFAD, International Development Association, the Norway, the Sweden, and now you got USAID right there. In grant, $11.2 million just in agriculture. Now, Alexander Nuttall, we have to call him. This is going to cripple him. This is going to cripple his ministry. And this is about, I think that we are now going to call for an early recast budget if this should continue. A very, very early recast budget. Because if you talk about $11.2 million, that should have come through the agriculture. Maybe that's the reason why they reduced the agricultural budget from our national budget performance. There you go again in education, $34.7 million. $34.7 million in education. You remember last year they gave the education ministry 33 million went to UL. Yeah, we are. They are chopping straight into that. So therefore, we did have to increase, or our education system will be in stagnation. Folks, this is very, very serious. If you used to beg, you're about to start begging continuously, because there is no way forward. President Bouakai is in a situation, if you take the viruses and people dying, he's in a COVID situation right now. He's in the COVID situation right now that you will have no financial resources coming from America. And this thing will also, I do believe, before I go to Clinton and the rest of the guys, I do believe this thing will also have a trickle-down effect from the European Union It will have a trickle-down effect from that of all these other people you're seeing. African Development Bank and Uncle Sam, you know that. People will start crying, I would not get to what we use education alone. Let's go back to the next table over here. Energy and environment. Energy and environment, are we getting anything? Anything whatsoever from USAID? No. USAID wasn't giving anything to that of, how you call him, Dr. Yuri Yakwaglo and the energy sector, where you got to talk about, what's his name, minister, the master energy minister, what's his name? Women pay, but energy is not getting anything yet.
Go to water and sanitation.
Yeah, I'm coming there. We are to health right now. Why are you going to talk about Dr. Koto and the health ministry? 23.8 million others. These are what is on our book, my fellow Liberians. This is true. This is real. 23.8 million others. So you do the math. Let's see how much actually our budget will be called for the recast. You cannot bypass that. I know Gaten, you're going to agree with me on this one. You cannot bypass it, because if this should continue for 6 months, we are in hell. And nobody here will doubt it. Let's now go to, you said, yes, sir. Now, let me finish with this real quick. Let me finish with this real quick. The municipal government, where you get, you said 3.9 million, all right? You see, I'm going to go to water and sewer. I'm not seeing the LWSC over here. I'm trying to find it.
You know, they're taking care of all web programs and the agreement that we signed with them. So that
we have it on the other slides, and I will bring it up. But there you have it, though, Clinton. How massive is this?
I mean, I think everyone said on this platform is huge. I mean, we are a heavily aid-dependent country. There's no question about that. And the U.S. continuing to be the largest donor to our program. So it's going to affect us very hugely. This administration is going to have a lot of tough time with all the projections for the budget. No question about that. These are going to be tough times. And I think Mommy made the point. The government has to sit down and really do a lot of early recast of the budget. And there has to be a lot of cutbacks, serious cutbacks on some of, recurring expensive, and see what we can do to, kind of remedy the current situation. It's going to be a lot of pressure. It's really going to pinch really, really hard. Over $11 million projected. That's a lot. So tough times ahead.
Bound, lower your expectation for data, Patrick. Tough times ahead. Okay, for data is paused, so we can move on to our brother. Are you with us, VP? We're not hearing you, sir.
Oh, okay, let me unmute myself. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, go ahead. What do you make of this, sir?
Yeah, so see, tonight the president must be thinking about signing a lot of executive orders. There's no time to joke. If the president been joking before, now is the time. It's almost like you were planning to take action and the opportunity avails itself. Now is the time for this president to use the law. But tonight, if I was the president of Liberia, tonight, executive order, maybe if I say whatever, no public official rides any car about 25,000. You try it, we fire you. 2, if you are making 5,000, 3,000, we cutting 1,000 from there. It's justifiable. 3, if you have plenty of people in your office, you're doing nothing, we pay you off, we lay you up, you go find a better place and be there and find something else to do. They tell one international travel per day. Call it up before you leave. Travel anywhere, any part of this country. I mean, any part of the world. It has to be in the best interest of the country. We're not talking about training. Before coming to government, you needed to be mentally, academically, and professionally prepared. You can't use government office to be getting all kinds of training. You must be prepared. I know you can build yourself. Number 5, nobody rob first class. In fact, the president should start now. No more private jet. That private jet thing, you go to the other country private jet, you go to the other side private jet. Now is the time to put that private jet down and go in economy class, because when you issue these executive orders, don't ride more any car that worth more than 25,000. Don't take salary that worth more, above 5,000, 3,000. Board members who sit in America, they are not physically present on Liberian soil and they're sitting there, they participate on Zoom meeting. You cancel them, you replace them. CEO, there are a lot of things this president can do. I can guarantee you, we can even save more than what USAID is giving us. So even if USAID decide not to give Liberia any money again, we still survive. But you need a legally robust, tax-oriented leader in this country. This is the best opportunity for this president. As a matter of fact, he's our grandfather. And we all that grew up with our grandparents, when they beat you, they don't get time because they raise your father, they raise your sister. So now is the time for this president to use that presidential authority. The boy is in his court. If you want to talk, we say, but look at what USAID are giving us. Look at Ministry of Education. They were giving us $23 million. Look at Ministry of Agriculture, $11 million. So the question is, if you talk for, I will ask you, how you expect to get this money?
Thank you.
Not even enough. So,
and I think you're making some very serious conversation here, and I think we all should share in the idea and give our input, because can the president do those cuts? Can the president take a pen right now?
Basically,
I beg you, can we bring Jackie and Gibson? Then we'll close to you, please. Let me bring in Gibson. Jackie, I want you to go last on this conversation. Gibson, welcome to the show. Your take on USAID.
First of all, guys, sorry I couldn't be present the past few days. Worst of it, when I was returning, my head bombed the airplane, and I think you can see here, hopefully it was bumpy. So, but I'm all right now.
So you are already crazy. Your head bombed the airplane, you're gonna get even more crazy.
Oh, my head beat, then it go bumpy, then it go make it bigger.
That means you're gonna take that to court?
Yeah. So the head, once my head is bumped, you can expect more crazy thing to come out. So first of all, who is the Secretary of the Senate to come and announce these things? I'll take it from a different perspective. People are serious.
He was reading the letter, though. That's what they usually do.
You're reading the session.
Oh, sorry that I interrupted you. Go ahead, sir.
No. Good information.
No, he was reading the usual.
I thought you were calling a press conference.
No. The Secretary will read the agenda for the day. Yeah.
Okay. But some of the things that Patrick talked about, they are not practical, because you don't just take austerity measure overnight. Why it's important that austerity measures are taken, they are not just possible overnight. Otherwise, you wreck your government. Patrick saying that the president should issue executive order that nobody ride 25,000 in a car. How is that possible? What's a realistic result of it? It's not realistic. It's not. Okay, you can talk about travel. You can reduce travel. You can reduce other things, but there are some things you need that are not practical. But the bare rock of this thing is Trump is not crazy. Trump made his plan a long time that he did not, when he campaigned on it, and the American people voted him overwhelmingly. So he was doing it. Then 90 days will extend to more than 90 days. I just read yesterday that they are cutting almost, I think, 100+ million from other countries for transgender study, this, that, and other countries. So they're not only Liberia being affected. The problem with Liberia, though, is our inability to manage the little one that we have. So we always rely on foreign aid. And this foreign aid, if I'm correct, it should be like 40% of the budget. And Mommy, if you check it, you can correct me on that. I think 40% of the budget, 40 million of the budget is foreign aid. If it is true, then it is troubling, because 40 million is a lot of money. Then you say it's cutting down. There's a lot of problems. So what the president need to do now is to engage. We have not even seen any diplomatic note yet from the government of the U.S. to the Liberian government say, we are informing you, or from USAID director and say, we are informing you that USAID is going to be cutting down its aid to Liberia. If we receive that diplomatic note, then it becomes serious. But if
we have received, some folks have received the note you're talking about. They are heard, and again, Mountain Cody is coming on. They how you call them, press union. We have also received
the UN send message.
The UN send message, and I'm going to share them as well.
Okay, assuming they didn't send no diplomatic.
You see, you're here, we are now for true. You're here, we are now for true.
The people in the UN are dealing with their own sentencing. They say they must wait for a result.
But the executive order said 90 days freeze.
Get in here, I think.
Order says 90 days freeze.
Get in your head, I think.
Elon Musk is calling to shut it down. Let's see if that will actually happen.
So actually, will not respond to individual comments. I will not respond to individual comments. Because right now, when I say anything, they will say because my head back on the plane.
But I want to bring in Jackie because we got to move to the other conversation. I'd like to bring in Jackie. Jackie, I don't know. Sorry if I see you in Liberia. Maybe you are not. Are you staying in Liberia though? No. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were. But yeah, just the issue though. The bread and butter impact this is going to have, Jackie. Speak to it. And what can the president do to redeem us right now within the first 90 days?
So, Stanton, before I go into that, you said something very crucial. You mentioned the African Development Bank. The U.S. government is one of the largest shareholders of the African Development Bank, if not the largest. So what we see that is visible and tangible that USAID donates or the U.S. government gives is way bigger than that, even when it comes to Liberia. You're talking about LEC, you're talking about the forestry, you're talking about universities, including the University of Maryland. You're talking about our climate change, water and sewer, health, education, so many aspects of our government, our roads and stuff that's going to be impacted by this change. And one thing we should hope for is that this stuff is only going to be temporary because no final decision has been made yet by the U.S. government, whether it's going to be temporary, whether they're actually going to permanently shut USAID down. Right now, nobody really knows what's going to happen. I will hope along the way, as U.S. government officials, including Congress people, and there's one thing, Stanton, you asked, what can we do? We in the diaspora, we can get together and start contacting our Congress people, Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter, so that they can also contact the executive branch. Because these people know 2 years from now, they got midterm elections that are coming up in America. And they will rely on some of those people who are voters to put them back into office. So there are a lot of things that we in the diaspora can do, get with other Africans, other international people from different nationalities in our neighborhood, our communities, and say, let's go and see how we can knock to our Congress people door and ask for the executive branch, Trump administration, to reconsider some of these things so that USAID is not permanently shut down and other programs that affect us will not, that this will just be temporary, even though they need to do reform, that is just temporary and they're not going to completely shut it down. In the meantime, what can we do in Liberia? The Liberian government do. We have to look at our gap analysis and look at the gap, what and quantify it. What is the amount and how can we begin to put in strategic measures, whether it's austerity, whether it's raising revenue, because there's two ways to affect your bottom line numerically. It's either you cut costs or you raise revenue. So you got to do one or both of them. And in this case, I think we need to look at both of them. Ways for spending, all these things, everybody have mentioned it, but also there are other ways where we can raise revenue that we're probably not even looking at when it comes to our natural resources, the flight of capital, so many things that we can look at ways for spending to see how we can fill in the gap and look at the gap analysis so that the hit on us is not going to be as bad on the
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to close over at Kara's grade, and then let's topic we'll close over Uncle Sam.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the $140 million that you talked about. Actually, in 2020, there was a $640 million agreement that was signed to renew USAID commitment directly to Liberian programs, and that was based on 5 years. So since 2020, you're talking about 2020, I think through 2026 or something like that, which is about $120 million per year. But the 114 that you talk about, that was for the 2024, and then you're talking about 2025. All of that, the 2024, 2025, down the drain. For now.
Again, just imagine, right? Let me put this up real quick, and then we have to move to the other conversation. I'm trying my best to keep us on track because 5 or 6 out of the panel group have agreed that we leave from here at 6:30. Governor Clinton looking at his time. Mommy is on time with this thing. Honorable Gray, before we come to you, hold on 1 minute. Let me bring up this, guys. You have to see this. You say, guys, can we mute a little bit, please? Everyone, can we mute? You is saying that we giving you $11.2 million. The day you have it in grant to agriculture. Dr. Nuttall is in trouble. Alexander Nuttall is in trouble here. By extension, the government and peoples of Liberia. And you told me 200 something 85 something yellow machine. You're talking about all the small programs that were running through. Those things was funded by grant and blessing from America or other donors. There you have it. Agriculture, African Development Bank, Agriculture, European Union, Agriculture, IFAD, Agriculture, International Development Association, Agriculture, Norway, Agriculture, Sweden, Agriculture, USAID. USAID gave the biggest amount. The biggest amount. Can you imagine? And they said, we're not giving it to you. The farmers. Cyril Allen is in trouble. The grant that he won't collect, he's in trouble. Thousands of farmers are in trouble. Yeah, I'm calling Cyril Allen and becoming my papa. But again, I'm saying to all of you, this is big. Education. We had trouble with the University of Liberia. Everybody we talk about on this show. $34.7 million. Our children sitting on the floor. No part-time teacher. One teacher teaching 50 students. No chairs. How can President Bouaka redeem us from this mess? Let's go down the line, folks. It's important we talk about this. Let's talk about the healthcare system. Will we still have medication in the hospital? This is a big you know what. This is it. So if you listen to us in Bon County, in River G, in River Says, in Rofa, Nimba, Western Cluster, all over, and you go to your hospital and they say, we got no medicine. You need to hear us on the radio. They will tell you, say, we don't have medicine. Because right now, $23.8 million is on freeze. It's not only for medicine, though. Those foreign doctors are coming to train. Let's move on to local government and other issues that are coming up that UCC will contribute $3.9 million. Honorable Greg, take us home.
Yeah, basically,
let me ask you a question. If you are still a representative today, what would be your recommendation now?
I play a very meaningful role. Let me be very frank with you. When we predicted the challenges from, you look at Ome Jordan, we inherited that. People were playing politics of the reality in Liberia or harmonization there. I had to play a meaningful role in the house. Okay, we led a serious fight. Lawmakers disagree. It wasn't easy. It wasn't ordinary. In fact, I was accused that I'm moving for this fight, but then because they say, oh, you get good relationship with the executive, There will be extra on the side, all of those things. But that was not the case. It was to save the government. And some of those decisions will be very unpopular. I can tell you that. The concern you raise here is that whether the president will take those meaningful decisions. I'll give you an example. When you hold president, we are announcing, because I'm speaking from experience, you know, from 2014, in fact, when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spoke of the economy, the challenge during the Ebola time, even she said the next government that comes to power will inherit a serious challenge. People underestimated that. When you hold president, we are announced that no minister or government will make more than $5,000 net. Those are some of the decisions. And I can tell you today that every minister, ranging from minister proper to deputy minister and assistant minister, nothing less than like 1,800 were cut from their pay. Nothing less than that across government. The challenge was among the public corporations, etc. Even the lawmakers. That's why the members of the House of Representatives, like Brian Dados, everything harmonized, put together, U.S. data. I mean, net was like 5,000 and some more dollars. I don't know whether it's still making the same amount of money, but they didn't announce that to the public. But those are some of the challenges. Okay, so the question that you asked is the strongest question. Whether the president has the tenacity, whether the legislature, for example, has the tenacity to say these are the decisions, because it's not just about the recast. It's not just about recasting the budget. It's not just about reappropriating the budget. But the question here is that, for example, we make sure in our government about 80%, I can tell you today, assistant minister will never work out for them. For the last 6 years, 80% assistant ministers will never bought vehicles for them, because the government had to run, you had to pay civil servant. For example, the government has announced an increment in civil servant salary, for example. And those increments are on the basis of what the government thought you are generated domestically. Now that your domestic revenue has to fill in the gap for the external revenue, so it becomes a challenge. Then civil servant could say the government lied to us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Greg.
I think in conclusion, that the rescued administration.
Honorable Greg, can I ask you a question so you can answer why you're closing? Yeah. I know the president does not determine the salary of lawmakers. Now the budget has passed. If he's taking the austerity measure and wants to reduce salary, what measure does he take? Since with your knowledge.
No, but the president said something very important in the first 1 year that maybe you overlook. They set out a committee to first review all public corporation benefits. The committee is yet to make a report. Okay, or maybe the committee made a report. I don't know how far they've gone with that. Okay. For example, you talk about the issue of vehicles. Somebody's talking the issue of vehicles. Let me tell you this. These public corporations and agencies of government, you don't do. I'm not talking about the minister or the ministries. I'm talking about public corporations. Okay. Even some of the cars they buy, the cars that they take home.
Let's move on to the next one very quick.
They got different benefits. The benefit may be insufficient, but how do you focus on agriculture, for example? How do you look at school, maybe the books? You say we're involved into some feeding programs and all in some institutions. So
thank you very much, and that's why I thank you for bringing up the feeding program, because we heard that they were buying food from our own friend, what's his name, Armstrong Jabba. They used a program, they were buying his local rights, and guess what happened?
Okay,
it's serious for him now, because the after school program, the feeding program. Listen. This is a serious, you know what? This is no joke. And we hope everybody, now we're going to open the phone line. Before we go to the next conversation, which will be Swat Coco, we want to say, if you want to take a break, please take a break quick. You got to listen. If not, we want to discuss Swat Coco, but we'll open the phone line on this usage situation. What say you, my fellow Liberian? Let me bring you back on Becky. I'm not taking anyone out, but let me bring you back, Nelson Colette. Let's talk about usage real quick, 15 corners. Wait, Nelson, can you come back on the show real quick? Let's take phone call. Your name and where you joining us from, Nelson.
We'll get you Sonny, Gray. We'll get you Sonny.
Yeah, can you lower the volume of your radio, please, and talking to the phone. Your name and where you joining us from?
My name is Tyler Johnson. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Now, when you make up the user program and you follow us, folks, share the show. Your comment, your phone call is necessary. We'll take about 20 calls, and this is the first one. Talk to us, my friend.
Yes, to me, the American people, when I get the money to do that, they get the money the first time, they eat the money. Our Liberian people stay in West Point, they stay in Soniway, they stay in Douala, they stay in Bokonje, they stay all the way in Grand Judas Raju, even Mami, to your own hometown, they stay over in the West. We need it not to give it to them.
Thank you very much. Let me take the next one. Your name and where you joining us from. Your name and yeah, go ahead. Talk to us, please. You say.
Yeah, CEO. My name is Inspire Calling, and I call you from Waterloo, Iowa. CEO Donald Trump, the impressed president for reason. For Liberia, country like Liberia, to see a reason to invest in their own self. Why were you buying car every 3 years? Buying car for 103 people every 3 years, new brand car. The minister, the highest everybody she made in that government, the highest should be 5,000, including lawmaker. We have to invest in the people, but invest in themselves. Then you want to depend on you, say.
Thank
I
you.
thank God for Donald Trump. I thank God for him. He's doing the right thing.
Thank you very much for your call in. Your name and where you joining us from.
Hello.
Yes, your name. Where you joining us from, please.
Curly from California.
Talk to us, please.
I want to congratulate the American government for the action which they have contemplated on taking with respect to USAID. The Liberian legislature makes too much money in benefits and salary. Austerity measures should begin with them throughout the entire government. They cannot continue to become enablers for Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my friend. Let me take the fourth one. Your name and where you joining us from.
My name is Arthur Wiato, and I'm calling from the state
Maryland.
Talk to us, Mr. Doe.
Thank you so much. There is a serious matter when we hear that you say all benefits to UC has been stopped. It's a serious matter. There is a time for all of us in the homeland, in the diaspora, for us to roll our sleeves and reintroduce total involvement for high heights. Total involvement for high heights, if you can recall, it was introduced by William Richard Talbot. There is a time. Let all of us be involved in it. There is not about discussion. It is now to put ourselves to work.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. Let me take this one. Your name and where you joining us from. Caller number 5.
Straight from there is Samuel McBorough, and I'm calling you from Iowa.
Sam, talk to us, sir.
My brother, the first I want to tell God, thank you for our President Donald J. Trump. And I want to tell God, thank you for Honorable Marco Rubio. We voted for them and we're proud of their decisions. Liberia don't need USDA money. Liberia got sufficient money. What Liberia need to do is take our priority seriously. We don't need to give people waste their money all the time. Liberia is a sovereign and an independent country. If we put our priorities in place and use common sense reasoning, we don't need aid from anybody. If we're not independent, then we need to look at another option.
Thank you.
And I tell God, thank you for Donald Trump. May God bless our country and our president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me go ahead. Your name and where you joining us from. Your name and where you joining us from, please.
So I'm Godfrey Dwell calling from Maryland. I think it's saddening that our people will be losing all the support. I'm Godfrey Dwell calling from Maryland.
Yeah, Godfrey, talk to us, please.
It's saddening that our people will not get that benefit. But let's look at if Liberian leaders are serious. Imagine illegal group of people pass $800 million budget overnight. We brought Joseph Burger to do the best thing for us. They divided it up.
Rachel Cook and the illegal people were in a hotel. In 2 days' time, they should be there $800 and some more $1 million, laundering people money. Today, they are benefiting, other people are not benefiting. So let Rachel Cook come and recast the budget. Let's look at it. Let Joseph Brother install Rachel Cook and pass the budget overnight. Not knowing that some of the money was given by taxpayers from the US and other places. But instead of budget,
thank you.
Illegal budget. So let them come and recast the budget.
Thank you very much.
I'm not into it, but that's it. Our government need to put their head together and do what needful for the Liberian people.
Thank you very much. Caller number 7, your name and where you joining us from?
Hi, Mr. Stinton. This is Emmanuel Mark, and I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Talk to us, man.
You know, there are some things that are going on that I love and some things that I do not like, but I think I will focus on Liberia for now. Let me tell you, Stinton, our Liberian leaders, they are the monkey. When it is raining, that's the time they plan with 2 days. But as soon as the rain starts, then they go ahead and get on their normal basic. I think at this time in our life, it is about time that our leader put him together and understand that the whole our country, the way they should be whole and do those things that are meant to be done. Look at Stinton just a few days, if you hear on the news, an airplane crash. It's just 2 minutes drive away from our house. What in case that thing happened in Liberia someday? Is our leader ready to take care of that emergency? So this is about time that our leader invest into hospital, invest into our healthcare, train our doctors, so that when anything happens tomorrow, that the water people got bread, a bread unit, and not even say be billion.
Thank you.
To use as an example. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller number 8, your name and where you joining us from? Talk to us, sir.
Hey, man, I support Donald Trump, honestly. You know, I've been listening to the show for the last 2 years. Every time you guys cry, complain about that one government, about misuse it from mismanagement. This is not a politics. The result we are having now is the best result. Let them try to find ways to figure out how to get back on the bottom side. It's not just like Liberia. It's like, remember when Donald Trump came for the first time, he thought everybody should go. They should put it in the position of attack the third from 17 to Donald Trump.
Thank you.
I support his attitude.
Thank you very much. Let me take my last one here, and then we'll go to Nelson in Liberia. Your name and where you joining us from?
Hello?
Yes, your name. Where are you joining us from, please?
It's Paul Reese. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Talk to us, sir.
I'm Paul Reese calling from Minnesota.
Talk to us, please.
Stanton, this is so sad because, you know, it's a problem for our country as a Liberian. The decision we make by Donald Trump will affect everybody in the country. You know, because if you're looking at our country, we fully depend on UC that will help us in our hospitals and other things. But when you look on the contrary, during the summer, our president spoke and said there's drugs, there's medicine all in the hospitals in Liberia. So if you look at the kind of blatant lie that our leaders be making, and you come to the kind of situation, how can we describe it? But the only thing we can do as a Liberian in the diaspora, like one of your panelists said, go to our we are in the diaspora, go to our people and talk to them, that they can go to Congress and look at, because this will affect our people greatly. Thank you for the opportunity.
Again, we say thank you, folks. On the international line, we're going to pause and go straight into Liberia. It's going to affect you, especially those of you that are home. Though you're going to have another bigger situation for us that have to support our family back home. But what say you? We're going to open the local line. Nelson, please, and let's listen to you. You say now stop everything, agriculture, education, everything. Donald Trump policy. What say you? Nelson.
Okay, 0555-101075 is the number to call, and you'll be live. We take our first caller. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, hello. I'm Alan. It's called 18th Street.
Yeah, please go ahead quickly. Let's hear you. What's
yes,
your take?
The USAID suspension is something serious in our country, but It's not too bad because we have the most experienced president ever in the history of Liberia.
Okay.
Because remember when President Weah was there, you had army withdrawing from our country, about 200 million leaving the budget, but yet and still they said that President Weah should change water to wine. He was Jesus.
Okay.
So in this type of time, we want to see the experience. We want to understand the experience. We want to see how the experience can work for all of us.
Thank you very much. Let's go you there and take another person. Hello?
How are you, Nathan?
Yes, you're live. Let's hear you, sir.
Yes, I will calling from the Luton SE.
Okay.
Yeah, letting this something will come to pass. This is Liberia. We make it. So people can say that for Liberians who will die because some are president and they don't want to be president. So not just no aid so because of that will die. Are you kidding me? These are Liberians speaking of this because of politics. You know how many US and you say Budgetary your own relative Bible somebody let me say this. This one, the 3 months will come to pass. And by the grace of God will move forward, continue to move forward. Just continue to live in the year where you're here. And the Christian, it will die not to live. Thank you, lady.
Let's go you there and take another person. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. You're live. Caller number 3.
Yeah, this fellow Mary says calling from Baptist.
Go ahead quickly, sir.
Yeah, you know, the decision on Donald Trump, I think, is welcoming because for Liberia, we got an experienced president now. That nothing will gain happen. At least he will use the experience to better the life of the Liberian people. So no need for Liberian to be quiet or for other people to be quiet on the show. Because we got an experienced president, 2 years experience.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My new house we can get James called from Orosengo to the South African community.
Go ahead, Kanga, quickly.
That's for politics and visual deceptive. I'm called on you say to please see reason our people need help. Brother, they shouldn't mind the left side of nobody can right now the $5,000 car where people go and buy the $5,000. Brother, can you imagine those same drinking water? And you can right now the $5,000 car in. I wish our brothers, our sisters in the diaspora are trying to please to conquer as well, to see reason to go to our people need help and food.
Thank you.
Please, the country should be made to conquer.
Thanks a lot. Let's go you there and take another person. Hello?
Yeah. Nelson, how are you?
Yeah, sir. Let's hear you.
I'm to work according for Painsway.
Quickly.
To be honest, the decision by you say is very bad on us because for all that work for local NGOs, there are several letters right now to stay home for some time until after 3 months. So, I mean, it's very bad because in the next 3 months, they will not be able to pay. We will be sitting home. And I think the government now need to be talking about it and see our best because if the government can do anything about it from now to 3 months, the next election we have that will come, more people will be interested in what we call because no job. So I think we need to look at it because it's very serious.
Thank you very much for your input. Caller number 5. Hello, go ahead.
This is Joe calling from Bentor.
Let's hear you.
There is a saying in Liberia that when Molly men say the heaven will fall on us, they themselves are honor it. We hearing some people saying, oh, the man get money, she's not going to get experience, let's see what he would do. Even in Liberia, your relatives are here. Your friends are here. They go to the hospital, they need to be treated. So the thing was then, educational sector, you say was supporting our educational sector. Liberian children were getting educated. They will be affected. And you are there saying, oh, we see what they will do. You might not give it to them. When Molly men say the heaven will fall on, they say, I honor it.
Thank you very much for your input. This person, hello. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. You're live.
Yeah. This is Frank Kike.
Yeah, Frank, you want to speak into the phone and just go ahead and make your point.
Yeah. This is Frank Kike, and while Akara is sitting there after the COVID-19
how they never came out to the Liberian to explain anything into what they cut down on salary in the common people or the civil servant. They never explain such things. So all of those things is taking it is lie. And what is coming on our feet today is the American people said 3 months. They didn't say they're cutting down all aid. They are trying to adjust the government in line with what Donald Trump is trying to state as his policy. Donald Trump will Liberia. He will work with Liberian people because we're strong ally of Donald Trump and strong ally of America.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take caller number 6. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
You are live, sir. Let's hear you.
I'm Chisu Paco and I join you from Charleston community.
Let's hear you quickly, Chisu.
Yeah, okay. I think what I observed in recent time, our government come with challenges. It happened in the man early regime, Ebola, and then the Georgia regime, the coronavirus. So this time around, it is the Joseph Wagan regime who have come with USAID, trying to cut everything that we were doing before. So let the government be on the same challenges and solve the progress.
Thank you. Hello. Number 7. Go ahead. Caller, are you there? Can you hear me? Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello?
You are live, sir. Can you go ahead?
Hello?
Okay, so there seems to be an issue with your line. Hello? Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Clarence K. Mamu calling from Ghana.
Go ahead, sir.
You know, I'm so surprised hearing some people, the problem that coming on Liberia is their happiness. Look, even if your government will win tomorrow, if the same people that are coming vote for you, if you are clapping for their suffering, vote for you. And this is my question. This restriction is only mentioned on Liberia or around the whole world. Because if it's only mentioned on Liberia, meaning those who pay the gas fee is because the behavior of the government restriction coming. But if it's worldwide, meaning they don't love their country.
Thank you. They think worldwide, and not only Liberia. Thank you. Hello.
So, are we done?
No, this is caller number 8. We have 2 more to take. Yeah, please go ahead quickly.
This is Maurice Masik. We're calling from Puro Bell District 17 to be preserved PCR.
Let's hear you quickly, Maurice.
You see, the situation we have in this country, as my brother was saying, every president will come to a own situation. But some situations, sometimes it comes from that just say into your house. When any problem comes into your house, just pray to God that God will be able to answer your prayer and be able to solve.
Thank you.
When you say, Jonathan Trump say that, you say all the NGOs are here or help trying to help us, and you say, yeah, helping our children, giving them capable, giving them small things for their land, and other people in the diaspora embracement, and also here, we ask God, we have the upper hand and opportunities for people to send our children to school.
Let's hold you there and take the 9th caller. Hello. Caller number 9, are you there? Okay, this person. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead quickly.
I'm Joseph James calling. A rescue son from District 15.
Rescue son, let's hear you quickly.
Yeah. Honestly, I 100% support Donald Trump for running because we African, our leaders don't really let the country. Honestly, they don't let the country, they don't let the citizen. So Donald Trump trying to tell us that should love the citizen and our country.
Thank you.
Love country first and the citizen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The final caller. Hello.
My name is Momo Masiko. I joined from the second channel right after the bridge.
Let's hear you,
let me say this. People have it because of what Donald Trump doing. They're thinking that we're going to accept Liberia alone. But let me tell you, even Liberians in America, they got family in Liberia too. And we should remember the hospitals are here. The military, the police, you say play a very major role in Liberia. So if President come out with regulation, I think it's a problem and it's troubling. So the only thing we should do is to pray and ask God for wisdom that our president will be able to make some sound decision that it will not affect our people.
Thank you very much for your input. I think that's caller number 10. It's over to you, CEO.
Thank you very much. Again, let's get into the conversation. It's only good. Listen, I'm so happy that we can hear from our callers today, because they always say, oh, you guys don't take us, you guys don't take us. But now everybody happy that we heard from you. Seriously, you have to be part of the conversation. I want to welcome back Uncle Sam, Jackie, Honorable Karis Mose Grave, Governor Clinton, Paul Kennedy, Colonel Remy Gray, from Dada Patrick. And I like to say to you, Jerome Gibson is not too well, so he have to leave the show. He got a headache. So you will see Jerome tomorrow by God's grace. Jerome will be with us, and we hope that he's feel better.
Wow,
Dr.
go
Richardson
ahead.
got him. He bumped his head on the plane, so he's not well.
Don't
Dr.
mind him, I'm
Richardson,
looking for insurance money.
Listen, man, always make follow everything. The better see everything I got me follow.
No, I'm giving it
Yeah, but the man say he bumped his hair on the plane, so it's not
he
only saying what he said.
But
I just gotta say.
It's already making forward it.
But I see one thing. Gibson Jerome going to eat good money. Trust me.
But first of all, he had to go to the hospital.
Because he cannot eat good money if that's not the plane fault. Maybe
Then I can just sit down and say,
the man was getting out of the plane and he bumped himself. My man, that leave that one back. Let me go back to our show. I want to say again, it's only good I'm going to be calling Martin Cody to address this issue about Noal. So, Governor Clinton, Ambula Mame, where are you? I got to get into the Noal conversation. I believe we will continue with using conversation, but it will be only fair to hear from Conor Gray. Conor Gray, you joined us late. We had a number, so you just coming on. Let's give you 1 minute on you, say then we'll move to Noal. It's all yours, Conor Remy Gray.
Well, for me, I'm only focusing on the security sector, which renewable energy is one part. Also, expansion of electricity. You know, because electric security is one of the cardinal development agenda that probably this government will ever embark upon. And prior to the last the last U.S. ambassador to Liberia, you know, he had issue about how aid money was used, especially in LEC. So imagine they're taking that money away from you. So it's going to affect that sector. Our national security is porous. And the U.S. government was one of the largest, aid partners that helped that sector. Our military is at the dismally low, the strength of the military is dismally low. We do have even agencies like the police, even the police, they're all being funded by USAID. We do have other sector of the security like NSA. So if people are making, I know others have spoken about the health sector, which is the biggest one. We already don't have good health sector, and then there are lots of folks in Liberia too who have terminal illness, and USAID was a big portion. So this is going to affect us somehow. But if people are this as a point to be happy about, it's sad.
Thank you very much.
We don't have, in spite of the fact that we mismanaged, but we just don't have it.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll continue with in the UK. We got documentation that was sent to agency and other government internationally. This program is on pause for 90 days. Maybe there will be an extension, Liberians, not only Liberia, okay? It's all over. You say the policy. We want to tell you it's nothing about politics. It's the way in which the election comes with consequences. You know, you vote for the right person. When you vote for the wrong person, you must feel the pinch, seriously speaking. But I like to move to Noal, and I like to bring in Abula Mame to talk to us as he's going to introduce the conversation for Noal. Tonight, we'll be calling Martin Cody, who is on the standby to talk about Noal. Uncle Sam is here. The impact when you're trying to bring about Noal and now the whole usage story, you saw on Martin Cody, you saw the Veritas newspaper. Again, information is out of there. Massive corruption at Noal. The investigation continues. Is this another Commerce Ministry 2.0? What you say, we will say our own, you will say your own, then we go to the phone line. From there, today, Jose Yimambwaga receive a lot of, diplomats. Jackie was talking about the executive marshal of Florida today from different countries. What impact is going to have for Liberia, the bilateral relationship? We got to talk about it too. We try to do our best to balance the conversation. It's all yours, Ambula Mame Noal.
The first thing is, like in the immediate past, the president was ill-advised in the structuring of Noal. That's the first place the problem started. Go and look at the line of business of Noal. After they separated Noal from the Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the primary function for Noal, ordinary people, that will be oil company to go drill for oil. The same way you get Chevron, Exxon, that Liberia own Chevron, Exxon there. Unfortunately, they not get money, they not get the capacity, and we're not drilling for oil. So what are you doing? The only thing Noal is doing is the oil data. They sell, companies buy to come to Liberia. And even that data, they are not the ones selling it. They are not the one marketing it. They contract it to different companies because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the network, they don't have the capabilities. So they give it to one company called TGS Noal. It is TGS Noal that is marketing the data for us and finding companies to come. So the primary responsibility is just to sit, and when TGS sell the data, you know how much share you get there, you receive it. Such a line of business, why do you need a company of over 4 vice presidents? You are not utilizing the skills of those brilliant people there. They are our friends, very brilliant. You can put them other places, but you are not utilizing them because technically at this stage, there is nothing to do. There is nothing to do. TGS is marketing the data. The Petroleum Regulatory Authority is the institution now with the responsibility to go outside and find oil companies to come to Liberia. That's the work Noal used to do before, but they take that work from them. It is this agency now responsibility to go out and find oil companies and bring them to Liberia. Noal work is to go and drill for oil if they get partner to do it, but they don't have the capacity. The data is supposed to be selling, that TGS selling it for them. Then you just flood it, you put 4 vice presidents. The small money they're getting from TGS when they sell the data, 1 buy 2 cars to ride it. I just wanted to pin that picture first so that people know what are they doing for which a CEO. Because if you want to justify that you need 2 cars, what the work you doing? To just wait when TGS sell data, they send your share to you? When TGS call meeting, you go there? What work are you doing that you deserve 2 cars? It's a waste. And if to your question, Stanton, whether it is what they need, Moda 2.0, President Bwaka, as per his letter, did not dismiss Moda because of corruption. He said he was dismissing him because you cannot be, you are dismissing because of waste. He said you cannot be riding this value of car in this time. So he was describing it as waste. How would the president describe the action of a CEO in a company that is broke, simple line of business, that wants 2 cars to ride that cost over 70,000 for all 2, because she wants to ride a car and she wants her driver and security to ride another car, and she wants to use the other car on the weekend. It is wrong. It is unacceptable. The board of Noal need to take seize of this matter. Councillor Gloria Scott, this is a test to your leadership, your first leadership at Noal. Take seize of it. It is waste. Control it.
Thank you very much, Abula Mame. Let's get into this Noal thing. Every one of you follow this story. I will let everyone to talk. Then we'll bring in Martin Corley, who is running with this story like crazy on his newspaper. The person we are talking about is the CEO of Noal, the former representative, Swakoko. Swakoko is online insulting. We will put up the insult messages from Facebook. Swakoko Dennis, former representative, Mercerado County. She was, chosen by President Boycott to be CEO of Noal. And every other thing since she took over with Appiton, that was a big fight along with Appiton. Appiton now, on his way as an ambassador. Swakoko, the mismanagement right now. So many things coming out of that story. And again, let's give it our best shot, folks. We are talking about car like days. One car, but one of these cars you have seen belong to Azango. Azango, I'm going to put Azango picture up. Azango is one of the deputy, I believe, director at that place. But what led to this story? 585,000 contract awarded to a company that just came into being less than 3 months with no history whatsoever. We have the document here. We have the contract paper. We have everything we'll be sharing with you. Let me make good use of our time. Uncle Samuel Jackson, before I go to Honorable Kyrie's grave, when you make up this story, you've been running with this story, you've been hearing, you've been following it. Talk to us, sir.
Yeah, look, I have a very, very, very soft spot for Noal. When I used to visit Liberia in like 99, 2000, I used to hang around Jenkins Dunbar, Photochroma, and other, and they were putting the Noal Act together. So I did small research for them, and we got some good thing there, Liberian economic thing with the 20% go to for Liberians, and then of course the 2002 Petroleum Act, all contracts, okay, in terms of anything that had to do with the drilling and services. I think $4 million or less for Liberians, okay? And I also had the opportunity to consult with Noal. I did a lot of what they call it, the whole linkage plans to get Liberians to participate in that sector. And I also have my own oil company, Liberty Sands. So I have a soft spot for that. So I'm very disappointed. And like Mama said, Noal's function is supposed to be a proper oil company. They're supposed to be going out there, making pitch decks, presentation based upon the data, the hydrocarbon data, TGS NOPEC, a Halliburton company out in Houston. They made tens of millions and maybe hundreds of millions of dollars from the data, but they squander that money completely. They squander that money. Noal at one point has 600 employees for a non-oil producing company. It was like a wasteland for the government to put their friends, to put their family there. No offense to Gloria Mususka, nice woman, but she got no place to be chairman of Noal. And I understand Roster, I think she got some background in oil, right? Oil and gas, and Ambulance, I think she went to some kind of petroleum thing.
Yeah, she actually studied geology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's too small, she's too young, in that she will never be even in middle management in no serious oil company in the world. Smoking, she's still growing. But because of the political process, they gave her that big job. And instead of nurturing it, look what she did. I saw all the documentation. She used $75,000. She bought a $45,000 car, and the other $30,000, she waited for them to give it to her. The person they can't give it to her. So she took a car and put the car in her name. Put the car in her name. I think the company name is Tanti or something, right? Mame, the name of the company that she put the car in, which is a personal company. She put Noal car in her name. And then she gave a contract to a guy called Stephen Dauber. Stephen Dauber, if that's the guy, because I went to his LinkedIn page, he has something, I think, geology or something like that. $585,000. But the company is what they call it, Jenny, is not an LLC. It's a what they call it, it's a proprietorship. One man company. It was formed a month or two, and they paid $300,000 on that contract. So, it's just, Mr. President Boyka, some of the young people that you are trying to bring into government may not feel like they understand your vision and what you're trying to accomplish. They're running fast. All of the corruption that you've seen have occurred over the last year, mostly young people trying to make quick money and quick buck. But President Boga, I blame you because you have not been forceful enough to send a strong message to them that you will not tolerate it. You stay the neck protecting, you stay playing with it, you stay playing with a lot of other things that happen. You stay playing with the
All right,
thing with
so let's go you then.
just
Okay.
30 seconds. Minister of Finance with a fake letter to from the embassy. So the President Baga saw, like my friend Mama said, he doesn't believe you can fight corruption. And if you don't exert the energy to fight the corruption, these are the kind of egregious acts that will undermine you and make it difficult for the Unity Party in 2029. That's my position.
Thank you very much, Uncle Sam. Honorable Gray, your former colleague, Representative Swakoko Dennis, is caught in the web of corruption and a lot of mismanagement. Talk to us.
Okay, basically, I not just Representative Swakoko, but I Boyka Jaliba, Emmanuel Zango. Those are very personal friends and brothers. I know. So do I have some source? Yes, I do. However, we have to still only have moral grounds. First and foremost is that there is a violation of a law. The 2024 budget law, section 8N of the budget law, is very clear. I just sent it to you. Maybe you can put it up. Section 8N of the budget law of 2024 provides for the procurement of vehicles. The only person that can buy a car, or the only persons that can have a vehicle more than 45,000, will be the president, the vice president, the speaker, the pro tem, the deputy speaker, and the chief justice. No board resolution or no board decision is bigger than a legislation. The budget is a law, it's a legislation. It goes through the same processes. That's the biggest financial document. So assuming that a board or an individual agreed to purchase a $75,000 car to procure a $75,000 vehicle is a violation of the 2024 budget law, section 8N. It means that a law was broken at Noal by the board and by the CEO. For you to procure a vehicle of $75,000 and go and ask for a $45,000 vehicle and take a second vehicle is misapplication of government funds. The objective of the procurement or to get the vehicle is a $75,000 vehicle. If they wanted two vehicles, they would have approved the purchasing of two vehicles. But the purchase shows that there was an approval for one vehicle and there was a negotiation to split the money into two. Is a violation also of the board's decision to purchase a single vehicle. The worst thing is for the vehicle to be in your name or in a company name. That abuse is also a violation of the code of conduct. Besides the budget law, that is conflict by itself. There can be no justification, absolutely none, by my former colleague for purchasing 2 vehicles. And I will give you a quick background. You know, recently in the legislature, if you listen to some lawmakers, they said they approved 45,000, but I will get $120,000 car. I will take the money and I will be one, or how they call it, district office, or I will buy another car, used car. Government regulations, they don't buy used cars. That misapplication of the funds. How do you show evidence first and foremost? So it's not only unique to Noal in terms of that violation. Even there are lawmakers who are in clear-cut violation of Section 8N of the very budget law that they passed. So what's the difference between the violation of the budget law by former Minister Amin Moda, the Minister of Commerce, or like
Thank you, Honorable Chris.
Mami said, excess spending, okay, or waste in government? I think you used the word waste in government. I didn't see the copy of the letter for this minister. But again, if action cannot be taken, then it will appear to me that Army became a target and a sacrificial lamb. So once you set that standard, the standard has to cut across. I will speak to the next issue. I will speak to the next issue on the contract and other things probably when more insight is presented by other people. But I just want to speak to the business of the law. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Let us push this thing forward. I beg you, because it's the first day. We're into the middle of this conversation. It's already 6:27, but I can assure you that we'll move from here within time. Let me come to you, Sis Jackie, before I go to the rest of the guys. It's only important. We'll be calling Martin Cordy to address some of this issue. The contract, as you can see, is right there. Nelson, please forward this thing on our page. This is with the contract agreement for professional consultant services between the National Oil Company of Liberia and West Africa Geo. Okay, it's very important. We're going to share all these documents with you. We have them. This is the post that was made by Martin Cordy, who is coming on the show. He said it is finished. Noal CEO Rosalind Dennis has been hooked in the 75K scandal. We finally got the car registration and blah, blah, blah. As you can see, this was what was provided. The registration date, the time. Yes, indeed, Uncle Sam, you're right. It's 13-1. Again, we have other information, like Honorable Grace said, all procurement of vehicle in this year, 2024, except for the President, Vice President, Speaker, Procurator, and Deputy Speaker, and the Chief Justice of Liberia shall not exceed 45,000. Shall not. Are due to pay. These measures shall apply to all state-owned enterprises. Jackie, what's the trouble here, man? Can you unmute Jackie?
So, thank you. So, Stanton, when it comes to procurement, the laws and policies on our books are clear. And there should be system checks and balances in place. When a company, when an organization, a government entity is preparing its annual budget, before that budget is passed or even sent to the legislature, the PPCC has to look at the procurement plan. So I have more questions and answers because you have all moving parts, PPCC involvement in approving the annual procurement plan, the board involvement in approving the annual budget, including this contract that you're talking about. Then you have anti-graft institutions, accountability institutions like the IAA, the Internal Audit Agency that should be stationed at Noal, that should be looking at every single financial transaction before it is implemented. You have the procurement policies, procurement committee at Noal that's supposed to be approving all these bids before signing a contract. So all these different moving parts and accountability parts, my question is, if that's the case, I don't know the detail of the story or what's really going on, but my question is, what happened to all these different moving parts if something went wrong in the process that should not have taken place? So maybe when Mr. Cully come on board, since he's been doing his research, He can probably help to answer some of these questions. But you have the board, you have PPCC, you have the IAA, you have the procurement committee. I mean, all these moving parts are check and balances that should be put in place before cash is given out or a contract is signed.
And I will agree with you. When we go to Clinton, who is a lawyer here, if you talk about the financial department at Azango, he got a lot to answer to. You talk about our own brother Bwaka Jaraba, he got a lot to answer to. So I will give that to you, Jackie. But what we are receiving from our sources, right? We says, Gloria Muslim Scott, we all know her, a veteran lawyer, Chief Justice. Justice Minister, Senator, she knows this game. Somebody got to come up clean here. Somebody have to come up clean based on the fact that we are talking about this saying the money 75,000 was approved. And there will be no way it was approved because we know that those 75,000 was approved, Jackie. It's just the question adding up that people trying to cover up. We're going to get a second round to the question. Let's get to Governor Clinton. My brother Clinton talked to us the importance of this story. Are we looking at Commerce Ministry 2.0 year? Then we will talk about the attitude of the CEO, insulting on Facebook, man calls, attacking anybody that may come close. Talk to me first on this allegation on Swakoko. Again, guys, if you don't know Swakoko Dennis, she's the former representative. There she go. You ever heard the story? You don't see a woman, you take her transit. That's the line. But let's talk about the issue at hand. Talk to me, Governor.
Look, I think Mommy knows a lot of Nokai. He spoken, Akara spoke, and I think everyone agrees that this is bad, especially in the wake of what's happening globally with, with the withdrawal of international aid, especially from the U.S. We need to do better with managing, funds. I don't see why the CEO needs, 2 cars. I don't see why there's still violations of, the PPCC laws. And again, this is happening under this administration. Pretty much every week or 2 weeks, there's one corruption scandal after another corruption scandal. There's one breaking of the law after another breaking of the law. And yet you have a president who is just not doing anything about it. Here just sitting. Now we are talking about Nokai again, and we'll talk about it until it goes away. And there will be, again, no action from the president. So, I mean, for me, I don't know. This is a numb. It's a numb on this government. And the other thing is, what is it even from, with presidents appointing these lawmakers? I think Swakoko, she lost the last elections. Right. And I think what is it with people giving these people jobs who had an opportunity to go to the legislature and serve the people? They didn't do well, and the people say, no, you didn't do a fine job, go sit down. And then what's up with giving them jobs? They didn't do the legislative work they were charged with. That's why the people didn't really let them anyway. So why are we giving them chances in the executive to do what? But again, this is an ongoing problem, so we need to address that. But this is bad. It's bad, and it's bad for this administration. But again, is the president going to act? Has he acted, in the other corruption or misappropriation, misapplication cases that we discussed here? No, he's not acted. The office of the First Lady, when we brought things to light, did they slap people with high punishment? No, a slap on the wrist. So it's just, for me, it's a numb, is a numb. I don't even want to say it's becoming a numb, because this thing is happening, like, I've been on the show, poor laughing, but I've been on the show a very short time. And like, in the short time I've been on the show, it's like every day we discover one scandal. Every day on the show is one scandal, in different ministries. For me, it's a numb. And, hopefully this president is going to listen. Hopefully this is just, like Mame said, president has absolutely no intention, no political will to fight any sort of corruption. So just, for the next 4 or 5 years, this is how we are going to do. Let's get used to it, But Stanton, I got to run.
Yep. Everybody have to run. Just give me 2 more minutes. We all have to leave from here if you can. We make a promise. We got to live by it. Let me bring in Paul Kennedy. Paul, let me do this real quick because we all have to make this thing happen. Honorable Swakoko Dennis, this is her, the CEO of the National Oil official, Noal official card is not 75,000. The CEO is aware that the position is of trust and carries sensitive information. Therefore, a CEO will not ride in one car with a driver, securities, and staffers. That's what
the part that That's the part that touched me.
And this is her. That's her excuse. All right. The CEO has a utility vehicle for errand use. So now you get somebody just taxi running around. The CEO will use it on weekends. You get weekend vehicle. And how do this vehicle? Use her official vehicle for official matters. The CEO encouraged young Liberians to learn to work together, and not everyone will be CEO at the same time. The CEO states strongly she doesn't sign checks alone. So, Jackie, you are right. Azango got to answer this question. He's the finance guy, Jackie. But rather, with the vice president of finance, who is Azango, and checks signed pass through scrutiny, the CEO will not carve to power. So there you go.
The arrogance in that,
yeah,
talk to me for arrogance in our post.
Look, let me disagree with Mame that Noka has nothing to do.
No, I didn't say so.
All right, thank you for the correction.
But how would say so?
Because Noka, as the national oil company, has too many things they can be doing, a whole lot. But like I said previously, when you don't have innovation, when you are not strategic, when they give you position, all you do is to sit down and take pay. Sit down and just be taking pay. Because as we speak now, Noka could be talking about how they could look into biofuel, right? You got all the garbage in Monrovia. Noka is an oil company. Collaborate with the city corporation and collaborate with the renewable energy and turn some of that garbage into fuel. You can actually find grants to do that. Noka should be talking about installing windmills in the Atlantic Ocean on our seabed so that it generates electricity to add up to the 88 megawatts that LEC can on one day or 2 days. Noka should be doing that. Noka should be trying to work into seeing how they can start to work with LPRC to talk about refinery. Come to find partnership. Noka can be selling carbon credits, making sure that they come into the community, collaborate with the agriculture ministry to begin to restore people's livelihood on carbon production so that they can start burning coal and then planting trees. Noka can do that. But when you put people who have no work experience, they've never worked before in their entire life, into managing these kind of strategic entities, all they do is sit down and learn on the job. And then, of course, because people in Liberia like be sure, so they want to ride 2 cars and be wearing air condition and say my security and the police people can talk. So I don't want them to be in the same car as do I. Is that a justification for why you should be using some of the $5,000 of the Liberian taxpayer money on your own personal luxury? That's the question we should be asking here on this scene. And the issue that, she's young, and what I've seen, the man was 39-year-old in France and became a president there. Macron, 39-year-old. So the whole excuse that people young, I don't want to listen to it. Yeah, I don't like to listen to the whole justification that because they put young, so when they do stupid things, everybody no, they're young.
Okay.
Young people, you got 25, 30-year-old people in the Congress here in the United States making decisions that impact the lives of their citizens. So Liberian people will have to step up to the game and stop making excuses for our corrupt attitudes.
Thank you.
can do a lot into the country to benefit the Liberian people, and let them start doing that and stop stealing.
We're going to hear from Martin Cordy. We're going to bring Arabic Graham from Della Patrick will take us home. We will stop this fight because, we're going to respect our time. Join us again tomorrow. We'll discuss more, but let me bring in Martin K. and Cordy, then Conor Gray, and then from Della Patrick will end the show. Because,
No, I
hey,
wanted
listen,
to say something after him, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I understand, but we just have to respect our time because this is the given time most of us agree to. Folks, again, we say thank you for joining us. I know it's sweet. You don't want us to leave, but we got to leave that sweet taste in your mouth. Martin, you are live on Spoon. Thank you for joining us by way of the radio. Let's talk Noal. Before you come in, let me say this. This is a reply Swag Coco gave, and this is the one you're going to enjoy. Gamma Clinton. Gamma, can you read that?
Wait, like she said, no, your ma is a better and those that see her. Yeah, she can't be community chair. Wow.
Yes. So that's let me say this to you.
That's not an insult.
More cause than the woman more.
No, but CEO, we gotta be honest here.
That one,
let's read the guy.
When we come to you, you must put it up. Then we read
your mother.
You just posted it. Let's read it.
No, but it's okay. I'm not going to do. I got to bring Martin on. We squeeze. You see,
Vandela, you're saying. So even if she was insulted, you're saying our public officials. So if somebody is the president should go online,
Let me bring in Martin Cordy. Martin, welcome to the show. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, CEO, and good evening to all of the panelists. I see Justice Mame Bapulu Ambulai. I see Brother Patrick. I see Conor Gray, Honorable Gray. There are two Grays on the show anyway. Be very distinct. I also see our own Uncle Sam, Auntie Jackie, Gamune Clinton, Uncle Paul Kennedy. I just want to say thanks to all of you on the show, as always, for the commitment to the Liberian people. Let me extend my greetings to all Liberians listening, because this is the most widely monitored platform across the country. Basically, CEO, we committed ourselves in 2023 to run a government of accountability, transparency.
Martin, excuse me, you got something playing in the back? Can you lower the volume, please?
Sorry?
Do you have anything playing in the back? Can you help us lower the volume, please?
Okay, let me reduce it.
Thank you.
I have my monitor on, yeah. So like I was saying, we made a commitment to run an open government. And open governance requires transparency, accountability, and public integrity. But what we are seeing right now, CEO, to publicly admit, the government is sinking in corruption. And President Bouaka remains tight-lipped amidst these incidents and allegations of corruption. So let's run to Noal. What is happening at Noal? Our people need to understand the background. It's good to understand the context, because the CEO yesterday wanted to distort the truth and switch the narrative, and we did not allow him to do that. Let's start with the car scandal. So what is this car scandal at Noal? In November, CEO, in November 2024, to be specific, the management of Noal disbursed the total of $75,000 United States dollars from the SRB bank account of the oil company, account number 001112053930001, and the book balance in that account, as at that time, was $1,372,950. But here is the real issue. So the CEO went to Cartus Motors to purchase a vehicle. So she purchased MG 2024 R8 7-seater SUV. But did she purchase that car for 75K? The answer is no. She did not purchase the SUV for 75K. The actual price of the car, duty paid, because you have duty free and you have duty paid. So the car was not a duty free car. It was a duty paid car, meaning you paid taxes on the car for import. So she paid around 42,000. That was the discount price, but the real price is 45. So when she paid the 45, when she paid the 45, you left with 30,000. Because she could not get the 30,000 in kickback, then she went into a scandalous deal with the vendor, Cartus Motors. The Cartus Motors said they could not refund the 30K because they had already registered on their books 75K. The money was transferred from the account of Noal to Cartus Motors. So if you allow her to take the 30K, you'll be held responsible. It has tax implication. When LRA comes to order your books, obviously you have to pay on the 75K and not the 45K. So because of the tax implications associated with the transaction, Cartus Motors could not return the 30K in kickbacks. So she had to take another car. The other car she took, she did not register it in the name of the company, Noal, even though the resources used to have taken the other car was Noal's resources. Let's be clear here. This is glaring corruption. She converted the other car into her private use. She runs a private sanitation company called Tanti. We uploaded all of the documents. It's on my page. The Liberian people have read enough. There's no counter argument here. The facts are glaring, CEO. So she converted the other car that she had bought for Noal into the use of her private sanitation company. Is this not corruption, CEO? Look at the car registration document. It's there. All of the information and details are there. You enter the receipt number on the online site of the LRA. Everything will pop up. The information are there. This is corruption. This is corruption. Then she responded to me yesterday claiming that the car is intended for errands and her weekend chill. When there are over 40 employees at Noal, they don't even have a bus to commute to and fro at the offices of Noal. Is this fair to even the employees that you are supervising, Madam CEO? Why do you need a car for your weekend chill or for errands? In the world's inferior country that has an unemployment rate of over 90% according to the Ministry of Labor. What is this? Is this what we signed up for in 2023 when we risk our lives to redeem the country? The people are watching, the people are suffering, and people are mismanaging the country's resources in such a manner. So that is it for the car scandal because we don't have time. So I'm going to be very brief. Now let's go to the 585K BUCOS consultancy agreement. Again, CEO, I want the Liberian people to go on my Facebook page, Martin K. and Cully. All of the documents are there. I'm going to tell you how it started because the people deserve to know the truth. Our duty as an activist is to protect the national interests. We have an obligation to protect the people and the interests of the Republic. We will not allow a bandwagon of state criminals to undermine the very foundation of the sovereignty or integrity of the state. This is why we are raising alarm and we Commander-in-Chief can listen. So let's go to the 585K consultancy contract that she awarded to a one mobile company, one mobile CEO. The company was funded 1 month before the contract could be before the contract could be awarded. So the name of the company is It is called West Africa Geoservices. We uploaded all of their business registration documents. The business registration number of the company is 053526144. Their taxpayer identification number is 501938585. And guess what, CEO? Do you know that this company is a sole proprietorship? They pay just $10 United States to register, but CEO Dennis is giving them over $500,000 in contract. Because in economics, you have sole proprietorship, you have partnership, you have corporation, and the list goes on. This is like a winner market business. It is not even a geological company recognized. But in the contract, go to the contract. The contract was signed in October, right? In October. The company, the sole proprietorship company, was established in August 27. It was established as a legally registered company in the borders of Liberia. So how can you give such a company $585,000 contract, consultancy contract, to provide research in the area of geological survey? So here are the details, CEO. Number one, if you go on my page, I also uploaded the exchange between the CEO, Swakoko Dennis, and the retainer law firm of Noal. The retainer law firm of Noal is Jerome Kopoya Law Firm. So if you read the email that I uploaded, the lawyer from the law firm advised Madam CEO that it could be legally unwise to pursue or proceed with such a transaction because number one, the transaction is above $250,000 according to the law, according to the procurement law CEO. Any contract or any agreement that is above $250,000 in our country, it must meet the consent or acquiescence of two important ministers or ministries. The Minister of Finance must be able to approve, and the Minister of Justice must be able to attest. This is the law, Madam CEO. And the lawyer even advised you to now proceed. The second thing is, CEO, the law also requires that any contract above that threshold, there should be competitive bidding. There was no competitive bidding. Ministry of Justice did not attest. Ministry of Finance did not approve. She still continued with the contract, with this bogus agreement, without the acquiescence of these two ministers or these two ministries. Is this lady not corrupt? Even with the advice of the legal
let me ask you a question because we all of time. We hope to have you tomorrow, Martin. We know you are very, very busy. We run with your people also. I will bring it up briefly about the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication corruption scandal you are breaking. I have those information. You are breaking them. We will discuss it more. Allow your people to go out there and we'll discuss it. But I also want to say to you, though, let's talk about the board approval because her argument, and I think we need to hear from Azango and Bwaka Jalaba and all of them and Risky. But her argument is that the board approved $75,000 for the purchase of this vehicle. Is that true?
CEO, what I can say is because I have the statement, the bank statement in my possession, I can only speak to what I have. $75,000 was disbursed from the SRB account of the National Oil Company of Liberia, Noal. And the $75,000 that was disbursed was intended for car.
Mm-hmm.
She only bought.
Was it intended for cars or car with S or one? Let's go back to the Commerce Ministry issue and help me understand. How many cars?
So because the policy on the government purchases of cars says all public cars should be capped at 45K.
Okay.
So you cannot go beyond that. So in as much 75K has been allocated, logic tells you, Madam CEO, that it is just more than a car, so there should be cars. Since it is more than a car, and she got her SUV car that is registered in the name of the company, the oil company, where is the other car? The other car is in the name of a private company. You see how corrupt the CEO
Are you calling for LCC investigation? Because we got to go, sir. That's the last question.
Of course, the LCC should step in and also call it on the president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yoma Boakai. He's been tight-lipped on these very important issues. Corruption is undermining his integrity. Corruption is undermining his legacy. Corruption is undermining his government. He has to step up. The people elected him to demonstrate accountability and public integrity. Any attempt to go on the contrary, some of us who supported him would not follow suit. This is why, CEO, we are raising the early alarms for President Boakai to take action.
Thank you very much.
The CEO at Noal needs to either resign.
I gave you few. Thank you very much. We'll continue. We'll continue.
And persecuted.
We'll,
so quickly, CEO.
Yeah, I want you to bring the. Yeah.
Let me just run through this Ministry of Post and Telecommunications.
Exactly. Real quick.
Because we just uploaded it also. So what is happening at the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications? Look at the photo of the minister sitting in that bus, CEO. Does that bus look like a bus that human beings can sit in? Let's be honest. That is a used bus. But according to him, he bought three of them. He bought each of them 28,500. That's not true. You cannot buy that bus that he's sitting in, that we just uploaded on the social media, 28,500. That bus is even less than 15K, to be realistic. So he bought the three buses. If you calculate, the total is above 85,000. Now he sends a request to the General Services Agency, GSA, for approval, because when you buy or you procure the vehicles, you have to send it to the GSA for approval, for the GSA to assess it and see whether it is up to standard for civil servants to ride in or not. The GSA outrightly rejected those buses. I uploaded the letter is there, the files are there. So those are substandard used buses. How can you buy for yourself, Mr. Minister of Post and Telecommunication, 45,000 cars? Civil servants who are doing the work. Why are we treating our people like slaves? What is this? Civil servants who do most of the work, if not all. You buy a bus that we should be putting, sorry to say, but right here in Europe, that bus you are looking at, CEO, the name of the bus is Post Traveler. They usually put animals in them to transport them. Why are you treating our people like this? Why are you treating our people like this? I'm being serious. I can take the photo of this bus with animals inside and upload it on my Facebook page, but I wouldn't do that. You can treat our people without dignity and respect, Mr. Minister of Post and Telecommunication. This is unacceptable. In fact, the people are the owners of the resources that you are in charge of. You are just custodians of their resources. Why are you treating them?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Martin.
So after the rejection, after the GSA's rejection, CEO, he now runs to the dealer in Clarendon, Prestige Motor. Yeah, Prestige Motor. He runs to the dealer now to change the deal. The dealer said, no, this transaction was dubious, so we can't refund, we can't do anything. He's now stuck as the employees at the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication are now resisting. So corruption is just everywhere. The government is singing in corruption, and President Boakai is sitting looking as though it is normal. That's why we are calling on him to step up. The government is losing it. The government is becoming unpopular. This is a fight because of corruption, impunity. Look at the incidents of corruption across various ministries and agencies. It's becoming unprecedented.
We're gonna have Martin Colley. We're gonna have you back tomorrow. I think the phone call is doing extremely well. We'll have you back tomorrow. Again, you have to explain.
I'm going to create time ready to come on the show. I really want to talk to our people about a lot of these issues because where we are going now, we can't keep quiet. We can't keep quiet because it is about the country, it is about the impact of the country. The resources of the country are being siphoned, mismanaged, misappropriated, and our people are suffering. We're not sitting and allow people to suffer while state criminals continue to milk the national coffers.
Martin Claudia, thank you very much for joining us for tonight. We look forward to seeing you this week. We appreciate you. That's the voice of the activist, Martin K. and Cordy. Folks, let's close the show. I'm going to go to Eddie Remy Gray and Vendetta Patrick while you make up this whole lookout. Eddie, talk to us, sir.
Stanton, Martin Corley is one of those icons that we must hoist at all times, because the issue about character is not about age. You can have somebody as old as Methuselah, very corrupt, but you have a very young person who has a good heart, you understand, who is probably uncorrupt. Now, can you take such a person and replace him with Martin, the other Martin and Councillor, what's his name, Edward Martin, at the Bureau of Reacquisition, or what we call whatever bureau the guy had for recapturing
asset recovery.
Yeah, the asset recovery.
Because that's the Bureau of Reacquisition back in the day. That Sam Jackson, and that was
I don't know nothing about that.
That was a very robust entity. But if the president were very serious to fight corruption, of course, Martin would be one of the ideal people he could place in a corridor, regardless of his age. Look, when somebody has character, and there's still good people in Liberia, many thousands of good people in Liberia that want to see the country moving forward. This issue about Swakoko was flagged. Her character or behavior, matter of fact, she's a very rude woman. I remember when they had the former board chair here, and he pointed out that she's very difficult to work with. That's one of those individuals that probably will consider as the weaker link. Now, to be coming here and making excuses and cussing people because they expose you, look, it's left with the president to step on these things, but we all know, like Sam would say, nothing going to come out of it. And they're counting the days that we'll talk about it, then it will die down, and that's it. And you cannot run a country in that way. Look, Liberia don't have that resources that people can fly. 585,000, that's a lot of money to award to a country, to a company that is only 1 year old. Who does that? Not even one, they say a few months. I think he said, yeah. Who does that? But, Stanton, we're trying to bring this thing up, but Mommy said it right. The president does not have the will to fight corruption. So, and we are noted for praising entities of government that have done good before. We are praising Noal. So we don't only bring up the bad, we'll also talk about the good. But we're just not seeing anything moving. So some of us will just stand by and see, donkey live longer. We'll see what becomes of this. But if President Barker doesn't move, well, hey, the country remains the way it is. And the people will decide when the time comes.
Thank you very much, Retired Corner. Thanks a lot. Vendetta Patrick, can you finish up this segment? And we will be out of here upon giving our closing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Vendetta Patrick will be the last. We'll continue with this story tomorrow. We must leave on time. Thank you, VP.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sitting tonight and I'm asking myself a couple of questions. Why are we at this point? It makes no sense we come here every night when we're supposed to be out there chilling, be having some meaningful conversations, We come here in the name of enlightening the public and the government with the hope that they will listen. Nobody wants to see the government fail. Nobody wants to see the government fall. But I don't know whether it has become a competition. What is in this car business? What about car? Man, I mean, there are some ministers and officials that never rode $10,000 car prior to going to government. And they go there, they get so much excited with this 75,000. Look, the day I enter government, my people, y'all keep this. So me, I always say this. The day you catch Vandela Patrick's ride in a car above $40,000, that day, anything you want to do, you're doing. Cars do not in any way indicate you are working. Look, this bull business, this bull of Noal CEO, we need to discuss them one by one tomorrow. If people, look, I don't blame the CEO. I blame the board, the authoritative figure within that body. If the board said no, she will not buy the car. So you see how the CEO will do this, the CEO cannot do this. So she's being protected by the board. Why no, CEO are coming. Why are we leaving the board out? If the board recommends today to the president, we don't want this lady to be CEO, she will be gone. If the board says we don't approve of this money to buy $75,000 car, they will not do it. Okay, if they can buy us $75,000 car, what happened to the other president? These are questions we should be asking ourselves. So maybe everybody got maybe $70,000 car, $65,000 car, and you, because you are the CEO, your car will be $75,000. Why are we not talking about that? CEO. All right. Another problem in conclusion, another problem I've seen in many public institutions is that they do not manage the public narrative. When an entity name is being brought in the public domain for bad thing, you will see the hell of the entity running in the press to go and speak. Please, when issues of this kind come outside, you have the Department of Public Affairs. And that's why everything that you do, get them involved. But I see the CEO alone, fighting, defending himself. Where is the PR department of Noal?
But so the PR job to go ahead with corruption?
No. I'm saying it's an institution.
Yeah, but other PR job to go and defend a misapplication, my man.
No, I come in. They are not going to the court.
So let end this thing. We gotta go, guys.
Yeah. We gotta go. When we go, we are not the time over.
Again, you gotta just understand we'll be here tomorrow. We are leaving now.
Yeah.
It's 7:09. Remember that. The reason why Mama want me to announce it because his wife is listening like he's about to get off the show. Yeah, I beg you, please conclude. We already have to go. The time is up. Nelson, can you come on, please?
Very important. I conclude.
But Stato, I'm the fathers for the time, so let me go first. I beg you.
No, let me close.
But we close here, guys. We close.
No, finish, man.
No more closing.
Guys, let's give Vandela 30 seconds. Vandela, go ahead.
But gain 40 seconds.
Let me close now. May God bless all of you tonight. I see you.
But let me say it was a wonderful show. Nelson, can you come up? Thank you, Abdullah, man. Thank you, guys. Jackie, welcome back, man. It's good to have you. Again, I know you'll join us tomorrow. We'll continue with Noal. We'll continue with the Minister of Transport. That story is big. Martin just took a little bit of it. Honorable Akaris most agree as always, sir. Thank you. They have been great. Thank you very much, Chief. Uncle Sam, have a wonderful evening. Guys, it was a good show. Have a good night. Nelson, you want to come on, please, Nelson? Please, we got to close the show. Nelson, where are you, brother Nelson? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go because you know what? Our guys have to leave. They got to drive home. Safety is very, very an issue, especially our female producer. We start the show 3:30 to 4 p.m. our time. That will be from 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Liberian time, right? You will call in, and at 4 p.m. Eastern USA time, that will be 9 p.m. Liberian time, we'll get into the program. Anywhere you meet us, you're going to leave us, right? From 9 to 11. Bam, we out. Anybody talking, we just call them off. Because it'll be 9, 10, 11, 2 hours. 2-hour conversation is good. We can go play basketball, we can eat, we can do what we want to do with family, but I'm so happy. Nelson, where you at? Hey, God. Nelson, now somebody please call Nelson. We have to close the show officially. But again, don't forget, we'll talk about Nelson, please come on, please. We got to close the show. We want to appreciate every one of you. Officially, Nelson will take a break. Then guess what happened? Then he will come back and do a show. Nelson is so happy that he going to take a break before doing a show. Again, Nelson, thank you very much. A lot we discussed today. I believe you enjoyed the show, folks. Seriously, I do. I really do believe that you enjoyed the show. And we are leaving you so early because you know what? We don't want to get into the confusion. We don't want to get into the craziness. We respect everybody's view. We appreciate you all. Come back again tomorrow for the wonderful show. Don't forget to come early and do all the phone calls. We have taken calls. You know what? Since I'm here, Nelson, let's hear about Swakoko. 10 calls, Nelson. Can we do 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do 10. Let's hear Swakoko because it's only important. I won't give the people a chance. Just 10 calls, Nelson, from Liberia. Go ahead. You go first. We make up the allegation on Swakoko. So
055. Yeah, 055-101075. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, hello. You are live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Nancy, how you doing?
Yes, sir. We okay.
Okay, yeah. Nancy, I recommend to the government now to really need to be dismissed. If this book I don't do that, you must know that tomorrow the United Party with the politician will be affected.
Thank you.
That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Let's hear you. Yeah, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Well, I listened to all what the CEO said today, the reply she gave. She's very insulted. And one thing she should know that it is the taxpayer money, so we have to know what she do with the money. So she can get come about give us 75,000 and then she went. And well, so look, if that money, if they're now going to talk about tax, going to steal that money. She's very insulted.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Okay. This person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my man, I want to tell the CEO, oh no, the intention of voting for Joseph Boakai is because of the CEO. And why he called most of us to vote for Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai is making us shame. CEO, you need to see. We look okay is hard. We regret it. Why we had to listen to the CEO? We're not listening to you again. If you don't work on things for Joseph Boakai to change your gear, we're not listening to you again.
Thank you.
I think you also.
Thank you very much. Caller number 4. Hello.
Thank you very much for taking my call. My name is
Okay.
You know, Swakoko is just a disgrace to the country because essentially in the legislature.
You want to be audible a bit? You're coming very low. Very, very low.
Hello?
Yeah, please be audible a bit.
You get me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, she's Alex phone. I saw person. He the carrying woman. Now we the one for it. It sounds disgraceful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much for picking my call. I'm Jeremiah Musumazakwe from my county.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you, my brother.
this is something getting serious for our country. Swakoko need to go because this is serious, and to get Liberians always buying the kind of luxurious cars when our people suffering, Swakoko need to leave our place and let the government take serious measures against us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 6. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. This is I'm calling from a Lumidan resident. What is happening at Noka, I think it is very worrisome. This government needs to find most especially the president, and most especially at the time where you see the American government putting up to all of us where this country is in dire need of the money, then you have a people, no car that is not even doing anything when it comes to the issue of oil. To use that money, although some of us will come from the opposition, but we believe that Liberia is the only country we have to support Liberia fight. We need the government Joe Bucker because it's so off. He has 42-year experience. When it comes to this kind of matter, they where the experience supposed to be exercised. Liberia is dying. This country is going down the drain.
Thank you very much. Let's hear you. Hello. Number 7.
Hello. Morning, Neptune. How you doing?
Yes, sir. We're okay. Let's hear you.
I want to say thank you to Stanton Waterspoon and all the panelists from the School Network. One thing I want to say, let me tell the president, we, the Unity Partisan, we are not happy. The way we hearing the government news. It will reach a time, we ourselves will take the news, we will tell the opposition to bring them to power for the ordinary people or to suffer. What those that were saying at that time, enjoying now,
thank you,
giving money for their family.
Thank you very much. Caller number 8. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Is that you?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Sifu for you, Batalabon County.
Okay.
Okay, my brother, Swaku would need to go. The president need to stay on his feet. Because the corruption of funding the government is very much huge. We look at like not just for Swaku, but like for the Ministry of Transport. Look at the something about is the minister bought. Okay. He claiming that he bought the buses for 28,000. And when you look at the boys, that he worth in for 20,000, he didn't 28. So the corruption, and they've also campaigned on the measure of fighting corruption, but now the corruption rate has increased in this country than ever before.
Thank you.
So all the officials need to do.
Caller number 9. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you are live. Let's hear you.
Good evening. My name is Noal calling from Yeah, I'm very happy to be on this platform because all along I've been trying this my first time.
Okay.
But however, I say thanks to the CEO and everyone on the show tonight. I always follow you guys. You know, the government, though, we know that there are a lot of things going on, but they are doing well in some instances. Yeah, so we have to continue holding this government accountable, especially they can do better.
Thank you.
Because some of all in our community, not easy. People talk to all every day. Yeah, you told us you know the party don't put on your head. This and that, and you don't want to make sure. So I'm begging the president. I want president to put his feet down to do the right thing so Liberians can benefit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the final?
Yeah, the final person in the line now. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Jacob Kulu.
Okay.
Regards the topic on the discussion, it's so surprising that people that swap who represented the district will do such. It's so shameful and so disgracing. I hope President Baga will take serious action on these people.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you very much for joining Spoon Network tonight. We want to say again, because of you, we are here. We appreciate you. You see how wonderful it is to listen to you. We discuss UC, we discuss Swakoko, we discuss the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication. We'll go further into those stories tomorrow. A new story coming up. Again, we would like to say thank you. Always John Spoon. Nelson, I was saying all the information. Please upload it on our pages. Again, we want to appreciate all of you. Till we meet again, have a wonderful evening, and may God bless our leadership, the president, the vice president. May God bless our country. May God bless you, and have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night. Well, we want to say thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. It's been a great show. We appreciate our valued listeners from across Liberia, our viewers across the world. We want to say thanks to all of you for your participation tonight. You made the show a great one, and Spoon Talk is here because of you. We appreciate your contribution every day, coming up and sharing your thoughts in the comment section, calling in and sharing your views on the different issues. We want to say thanks to everyone for always being here. Spoon Talk will be back on the radio tomorrow. The invitation is yours to join us. Until then, I'm Nelson Colette. Have a good night. My Ruth Gobat, my Jennings Son, Bernard David. I see Joseph Blandy, Robert Black Diamond, Philip Bala, November Shea Bless, Genevieve Freeman. All of you joining us tonight, we appreciate you for always coming on. Dar Moore, Dexter Tue, we appreciate you. Hannah Kolako, thanks as well for being here with us. Emmanuel Saki, we appreciate you for always sharing your thoughts. Jimzetta Yasa Widow or Kokolo, thanks a lot. And thanks to everyone. Those of you whose names I didn't mention, we appreciate you for being here. They will come your way again. Sandra Gower, our dear sister, thanks as well. Joe Cephas Jr. Spoon Talk will be back on the radio tomorrow. Until then, have a good night and bye-bye for now.
Your information for the food. Food, food, food.